and welcome back to another episode of the SportsRunDown Betalong. How are you tonight, guys?
Doing good, LB. Yourself?
Yeah, very good. Nice to have you back, PK.
I was just going to say, our good luck charm from last week, PK, has returned. So hopefully you'll bring the same.
Happy to put that notion to bed this week. No, joking. Try and win as much as we can again.
Yeah, exactly.
Similar.
We set the bar very high last week, so we'll have to put in our best effort tonight to live up to that one.
I like making money. It's good fun.
Yeah, don't we all? Before we get into the show, Slats, we'll just go to you very quickly. Run us through your bet. So anyone who's watching, you'll see it on the screen there. We've got some young Amsterdamians watching or playing. So Slats, talk us through your bet there.
Yeah, sure. So this is the first up in our live action ACCA. I'll just fly through it and we'll discuss the details of the ACCA after. Because this is already 30 minutes in, so just in case people are trying to get on this bet, it's still 0-0, which is good for anyone trying to get on, and the stats aren't looking too bad. Ajax are on top. So basically, Ajax are playing away to us. Ajax are third in the league, us down in 19th. So I was really surprised that Ajax were outside of evens. They were 11-10 for the win, for a team with a much superior position in the table. A much stronger team. And then when you dig into the stats, it only strengthened my surprise at the odds. Us haven't won in 15 games. Ajax have won 7 of their last 9. They're like 7 wins, 2 draws in their last 9 games. Us are like 5 draws and 10 losses in their last 15. So I don't know how anyone would have any expectation that us would be realistically getting a result here. I think Ajax are great value at that. They actually came into 4-6. I checked just before kickoff and they were 4-6 for the win. I'd imagine that was just a lot of money going on them because they were definitely overpriced. But our ACCA here that that a viewer will win the return on if it comes off is based on them at 11-10, and it's based on also both teams to score. So the odds I got on Ajax to win and both teams to score was 13-5. So I'm convinced Ajax are going to win, but they've actually conceded in 24 straight away games, which is mad, really, considering they still win most of them. They still concede every time. So every away game this season and going well back into last season too. Us have scored 15 goals at home in their 10 matches. They've scored in 8 of their 10 home games, or their last 10 home games. So, most of the time they do manage to get a goal. They're playing against a team who concedes a lot of goals on the road. So I just think it's a great value there. It was nearly 3-1 for Ajax to win and both teams to score. And I think both of those things are very likely. 30 minutes in, still 0-0. You'd be hoping certainly for a goal before halftime. But, I still think this would be worth getting on if people are watching and thinking about getting in it now.
As Ajax are away, would you want them to score first or second?
I was just going to ask the same question.
Yeah, if it was a real odds-on team, even though I'm surprised they weren't odds-on and they did go into 4-6, but you'd usually be going for the underdog to score first. But I think here I'd like Ajax and then the consolation goal rather than us taking an early lead. It's actually killed us a few times as well because we do generally go for that. The underdog, you want the team you expect to lose to actually take the lead. And we've kind of fallen victim to it a few times with the likes of that one with Munich, who were like 1-7 for the win. And we had them with both teams to score and they went down 1-0 and then it went 2-0. And then it was like, oh crap, this isn't going the way we thought it would. So, so I think I'd like Ajax to go up 1-0, but no, I wouldn't be that disappointed if us did score either,
Yeah. So just to give a quick recap to anyone who's watching what we do, if you're not familiar with the show, we have what we call the live action ACCA. So myself and Slats here are regular contributors to SportsRunDown.com, and PK is a stream specialist. He doesn't write any articles for us yet, but we'll keep chipping away and trying sign them up. But SportsRunDown.com is where we post all the articles. We've got different sports, different leagues, and on Friday we've got what we call the live action ACCA, which is the game Slats just spoke through, and then 2 others that we'll jump onto fairly shortly. This week it's 16-1 treble. So we've put a tenner on that, and that'll pay 160 quid. And the most engaged commenter across our 3 platforms, or the best comment or the comment we like the most, we'll give that money to if the bet wins. So to anyone on Facebook, apologies for the late start. You would have missed a lot of the introduction there. But Slats has gone for a win in both teams to score in the Dutch second division with the Ajax reserves there, still 0-0, approaching the end of the first half. So just wanted to get that out of the way nice and early. The got quite a lot of big name teams playing this Friday night PK. We've got the Premier League, and most of the European top fives are actually, I think, in fact, all of them are on tonight. La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie, French Ligue 1, and Premier League. So a real humdinger of a schedule tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised. I thought, I think you've gone back to your roots anyway with the live action treble. You pitting yourself in the Jupiler League there, or Jupiler League in Belgium, and Slats has gone back to his Eredivisie. So, and Gary's sticking with the English. So it's definitely playing to your strengths. I thought Slats might be a German expert now after last week. And
I fancy, just to get it out there, I fancy Cologne to win and both teams to score there. I'll talk through the stats in a while, but it was about 2. Yeah, it was 2-1. It was a little over 2-1 during the week, but before kickoff, and it's just 8 minutes into it now. It was 2-1 for Cologne to win and both teams to score.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the records here. Cologne are very good at home, but they do concede, and Augsburg tend to score away too. So you have, but they lose.
Yeah,
too.
I mean,
So,
that's basically it. Yeah.
I mean, when you just look at their recent results, it seems an obvious bet.
It does, doesn't it? 2-1,
Yeah.
and it was closer to 3-1, I think. Earlier in the week, it came in a good bit. It was certainly 2.5-1, but yeah,
It's
2-1
definitely it's one that people should jump on there. I think it's a both teams to score bet anyway, if you want to just leave the risk out of it. But
I've actually put on, I want to get this out there before we get any accusations of advertising. So the 3 that we have in the ACA plus Cologne, and I'm glad I just picked it because I've no real backup, but I'm glad you two have assured me there. So that the 3 we have, the 3 winners, so we've got Brentford, Charleroi, Young Ajax, and who was the third one in the ACA? Oh, sorry, and then Cologne. That's it. So the 3 in the ACA and Cologne, all to win and both teams to score. And it's a reasonable 150-1 on Betfair. So I've got a tenner on that, and I'll be dancing around the room if that wins later on in the show. So just wanted to call that out.
I'm just looking at the Sampdoria Genoa game here to price. They're 2 sides that love to concede. They concede on average 2 a game each. So I'm wondering what odds that is for both teams to score, but it seems a very obvious bet. I wouldn't have any confidence in Sampdoria beating Genoa, or I wouldn't have any confidence in either team when it's probably a draw bet for me. But
as well, it's a derby as well, so I could, I would usually lean a draw there. The way it goes to, they share that stadium and all that. Let me see if it's the odds on both teams.
I'm getting it's roughly 17-20 for both teams to score.
That's a good price, yeah.
That seems massive to me. I'm getting on that, doubled up with Cologne, I think, for a nice little double.
Yeah, that does look good. Yeah, I see it 4-5 on Bet365, pretty much the same.
Yeah, it's.
I would have thought that'd be like 8-15 or something like that for both teams to score.
Their last 4 head-to-heads have had both teams scoring too.
That's a good sign.
In which game? In the Sampdoria game?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like you're saying, it'd be a derby match. Like, sorry, just you. I mean, you were pointing out that it's a derby, and like if they're historic derbies, it tend to have a lot of goals in both teams scoring. That seems to be a pattern in those type of games.
Yeah, exactly.
What I'm noticing here, though, is Genoa haven't scored in their last 4 and 5 out of their last 6, though.
I wonder with those trends, though, like how long can a team go without scoring? Like even pretty crap teams eventually have to start, getting a deflection or something.
Sampdoria seem to be very fond of conceding. They've in their 4 of their last 5 home games, away games, they've conceded 3 goals. So,
wow.
So I mean, if they're going to break their duck, this should be it, right?
That's true, yeah. And you would expect to be more up for it. They're at home.
I expect that's where the value is coming from, though, is the fact that Genoa just can't seem to score. But I mean, I'll take the risk at what seems like a tasty price there, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's on Betfair, it's 13-20 for both teams to score in that Bundesliga game, which is obviously pretty stingy in comparison to the odds you two were talking about. It's just got suspended.
We were talking about the Serie A game, though. I don't know what the odds were for the Cologne game.
Well, forget the Cologne game because it's 1-0 Augsburg.
So Augsburg went up 1-0, yeah, which is ideal for both teams to score.
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
Very nice for a double chance bet too if it stays like that for a little bit.
Yeah, true, yeah.
One of my favorite in-play bets is when a strong favorite goes 1 down.
Yeah. Just for anyone watching, I have a pretty strong track record at missing bets that we've talked about. I actually had the bet slip loaded of over 2.5 in that game, and both teams to score in the Serie A. And I just waited to talk through the difference in odds, and then they scored. So
no. That's
it was ridiculous.
You do have some knack for it though. It's uncanny. Like it's like if LB's talking about his in-play bet, it's probably going to win as he's talking. It's going to alter anyway. Like you should get on.
While I'm still waffling away, you should make sure to get on that bet.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is that one.
You want to talk through the rest of the live action ACA?
Yeah, that goal has been ruled out in Germany. So I'm going to jump on that double now. So that's over 2.5 in the Bundesliga, and both teams are scoring in the Serie A. And it is.
I'm going to get on the exact same one as that, even though I have them in another bet. But yeah, that just seems like a decent one.
Yeah. So at the little outside, God, it's in decimals here. Confuses the hell out of me. So yeah, the rest of the ACA here. So I'll talk through my one next, which I believe is the next kickoff. So that is in Belgium. So anyone who watches the show, I like the Belgian First Division A. It's not a popular league, but it's really entertaining. Oostende are away to Charleroi tonight. Oostende are a pretty regular Friday team. I think they've been on 3 of the last 6. They're away to Charleroi, like I said. Charleroi, kind of a surprise package. They've been getting better and better over the last few years in Belgium, but without getting much credit. Nobody really pays them much attention. They're right at the top of the league. I think they're maybe second, in fact, or certainly in the top 3. They're one of those teams that they score and concede a lot, and they generally just sort of, I feel like most of their matches are kind of in that 2-1 range. They score and concede. Oostende, on the other hand, they're doing okay, but they're very much that they beat the teams below them and they struggle against the teams above them. And their defense, they've conceded 25 goals in the last 8 games, which is a pretty poor. In their 8 games against the top teams in the league. They've conceded 25. So they're really poor against the top teams, and then they're pretty decent against the bottom team. So I think you get a bit of value when they come up against a good team like this. Charleroi beat them in the first game of the season 3-0 in Oostende. So there's no reason to think that it should be a hugely different one here. I was tempted by the win and over 2.5. I went for the win over 2.5. Apologies. I was tempted by the win and both teams to score, but I just think there's a chance Oostende actually don't find the back of the net here. And the increase in value wasn't that big, like 9-5 versus 7-5 or something like that. So I've gone with 7-5 and over 2.5. 7-5 for Charleroi to win and over 2.5. Is the bet there. They score pretty much 2 goals a game, and I think only one of their games this season has not had at least 2 goals. So it's not a huge ask to get up to 3. So that's the bet there in Belgium.
All the stats for that game that you had written up and talked through there, I like. But I like the stat that you often look at and dig into is like how teams perform against certain opposition. You know, whether the opposition they're beating is above them in the table or below them in the table, or kind of in the top half of the table or bottom half, because it can completely skew the form stats. You can have a team that have happened to play the top 3 or 4 teams in the league, and maybe you only got 2 draws and 2 defeats, but when you look back at their games against the teams below them, they've beaten every one of them comfortably, and it can be a huge indicator. But it's not something I look at enough, and I'd imagine a lot of people don't look at that enough. Yeah,
it's one of my main things, certainly in kind of not that there people don't pay attention in those leagues, but there's not as much interest from the bookies in the likes of Belgium or realistically anything other than the English leagues. It's it's the vast majority of the betting volume. And there's certain teams, if you look at, like, I think the perfect example in England is Arsenal. Like, they're really good against 16 of the teams in the league, but then away to Man City, away to Liverpool, away to Chelsea, they're just going to get their their backsides handed to them. It just and it's such a clear way it works. And as other leagues have it, but you might get a bit of inflation in the odds for these teams, because you look at Oostende and they've won more than half their games anyway. They've won them this season, but they've won them against the absolute dregs of the league. So, like you said, I don't think they stand much of a chance away to Charleroi. Charleroi are another team as well that they're pretty good at taking care of business against. I think they've maybe 1 or 2 blips against the very bottom teams, but other than that, they're pretty solid at just beating those teams. I wouldn't be tempted by Charleroi away to Anderlecht or Royal Union or anybody like that. So I think it's a good insight. And I mean, like I said, you're not going to find value on that in the Premier League or the La Liga, but you'll probably find it in some of the smaller ones for sure. We have a comment on Facebook, by the way, from Gherkin. You've asked us how many matches So we'll be watching probably all of the matches, if we're going to be honest about
Every
it.
game.
All the matches that are live now, we'll be watching them. So that's in the Premier League, La Liga, French Ligue 1, Bundesliga, Serie A, Belgian First Division A, and the Dutch Second Division, the Eredivisie. So that's where we are at the minute. And yeah, anything in particular you want to ask us, any game you're looking at, by all means, just drop us a comment. We'd love to talk through the games you're watching or you want us to watch as well. Happy to help there. We got a comment in on Facebook, or sorry, on YouTube as well, from Arts. You're just saying hi. So hello back to you there, Arts. Let us know what you're watching, what you're betting. And just for the people in the comments, reminder that we're going to give away the money from the bet tonight. So we have a 16-1 treble on, and if that wins, we will give the €160 profit to the most engaged or the best comment across our three platforms. That is that there. Sorry, PK, I think you were about to say something. I might have cut you off there inadvertently.
No. It was more to your points. I was going to reference Art's comment too, but you got around to it. So I think the last leg of the bet is then Brentford and Watford for the live action treble, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Go ahead, I'll let you take over.
I can talk to that one. I thought you were looking to talk to PK.
Yeah, so did I.
No, I can see the reasoning. It's obviously Gaz's leg of the treble. I can see the reasoning.
Yeah, Gary's missing again tonight, but he still gave us this bet, and he knows the stuff. In fairness, with the English football, so it's Brentford, Watford, and a kind of a bottom of the table kind of 6-pointer. Two leaky defenses. They've both been. Brentford had a great start to the season, but they've kind of gone off the boil a bit. They've only won 1 of their last 8. Watford have won 2 of their last 9. So yeah, but two teams conceding a lot. And actually, what's interesting that we were just talking about, like Gary does point out that Watford's last 5 have come against Man United, Man City, Leicester, Arsenal, and Chelsea. So they've had a tough run of it, in fairness, but. They're conceding a lot, and there's just been a huge amount of goals in both their games. Brentford's last 4, there's been 13 goals in, and Watford's last 4 have had 18. So they're averaging like over 3 goals per game and over 4 goals per game. So the bet is over 2.5 goals at evens. There's an alternative to our treble. So our main treble for tonight is that 16-1. And if that comes in, we'll be paying out the 160. But Gary did also mention that he kind of fancies Watford. And again, that's coming into the fact that they've had a tough run of games. They beat United in that run of games. So, they have the ability. But he just fancies them for the win. And if you include the win with the over 2.5, I think it's around 2-1 or a little above it maybe. Oh, no, sorry. It was 9-2 for Watford and over 2.5. So that pushes out the treble to 46-1, up from 16-1. So for the more adventurous bettors out there, I definitely think that I've got on that one myself as well. I definitely think there's value in that for Watford to win and both teams to score.
No, it's funny because Brentford started off really strong defensively and have got kind of worse, and then Watford started out pretty shaky, but then their attack has got better and better. That guy Dennis seems to be at the middle of everything. Brought him into my fantasy team. Hopefully he does something. But I think it does. Like, I think both teams kind of know they need to go for this, and I don't think either team sets up overly defensive even against the stronger team. So I don't see why they'll sit back tonight on this one. Arts has just come in on YouTube too. He's asking us about the Willem against Cambuur game. It's one I had to look. It's in the first division in the Netherlands, but it's actually a very interesting game betting wise. It's 0-0 at half time, but Willem have lost their last 6.
And Cambuur look as if they've been all over them in this game.
Cambuur have won their last and they are all over them statistically. And Cambuur have won their last 4, and they were nearly 2-1 to start. They were 11 or whatever that is, 7-4. So
yeah, well, they've only come in as far as 13-8 on Bet365. So
they're actually shorter than they were to start.
Yeah, just slightly shorter, but
half a game
but that
left,
still looks like decent value. They just got promoted last season. They ramped through to Dutch 2 and got promoted. Cambuur did. I mean, you'd have to fancy them. They're 9 shots to 4, 64% of possession, 37 dangerous attacks to 13.
Yeah,
4 shots on target versus 1. All the stats are
going on form and going on the stats and going by, Willem have lost 6 in a row. Like, so, I mean, if I was putting money down on it, it's not a game I know enough about to chuck money at, but I see value there in Cambuur, and
it certainly sounds like it the way you've described it.
Yeah.
It's
I
gone
wouldn't.
suspended in the Dutch game, Slats. I don't know if anything happened there. Your Dutch won the top os against.
Yeah, I don't know why it went suspended, but it's half time now. Whatever it was just a free kick. So I guess a free kick that they thought for a second might have been a yellow or even a red card. Yellow card did come from it. So I guess it could have possibly been a red, and they'd suspend the markets if there's a chance of a red card, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, half time 0-0, unfortunately. So that's not looking great.
There's a lot of games have 3 or 4 goals in the second half in the Eredivisie, so I wouldn't be writing it off.
Absolutely, and that's definitely one that could. Just based on the stats, like Ajax have a ridiculous number of goals in their games. So yeah, you just would be hoping for an early one in the second half. Obviously, you're kind of up against the clock. The later that goes, the less likely it's going to happen. So. An early goal there, I'd still be very confident of it coming in. There's another game that's 0-0 in the Dutch 2 de Grace Chap at home to Helmond Sport. Helmond are bottom of the league. Just to give an idea of the expectation of this game, it's half time and the Grass Chap are still 1-3. 4-11. They've had 11 shots, 7 on target. Helmond have had 0. In the first half, they had 27 dangerous attacks. Helmond had 2. So I think maybe I'm going to look at the Grass Chap and over 1.5 goals there. If that goes to evens, I'm definitely jumping on it because that game's only going one way.
Yeah, that sounds like a very promising angle that you have. We have
a goal in Italy. Sampdoria have scored against Genoa, so
lovely stuff.
I mean, it's kind of how we expected it to go, and now we just need Genoa to get out of their rut and try and get something out of this game. But it could be in by half time that both teams have scored bet.
That's true.
If you're going to exactly. If you're going to get out of your rut, I think at home in a derby game is the best opportunity that you're going to have. If they can't do it today, I'd be writing them off.
Well, the fans won't be very happy if they don't do anything today then.
No, exactly. Slats, the Grass App and over 1.5 is already 11-10 on the
11-10. Yeah, I'm putting
a responsible wager on that is what you're doing.
A healthy amount.
I was going to call it three units, a 3-unit bet, but whatever that is in anyone's own terms, it's €3 for me.
I don't know what we were talking. I was talking to our mutual friend Healy earlier today, guys, and we just ended up talking about this type of betting and units and staking and all that kind of stuff. And it's definitely an area of my punting that I need to improve on, is just that side of it, because there's certain, like, I don't know when would you go between like a 2-unit to a 3-unit or to a 5-unit kind of stake. So
yeah, there's so much bias involved in that decision making too. Right? Sorry, PK.
It's all about confidence levels, really, right? How you stake it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know people that'll put a 3 or 4 unit bet on a 2 or 3 to 1, and then they'll only put a 1 unit stake on evens because the confidence level, if you're really confident in a bet, I don't it's up to you how you stake it, right?
I guess it's probably the same thing or just another way of looking at it, but value as well would determine it. Like if you think, like you're saying, there could be a 2 to 1 or a 3 to 1, or say even a 5 to 1, and you think it should be about evens. You're like, it's so likely this is going to happen. If you think the odds are wrong, then you should be kind of increasing your stake a bit as well, I guess.
Some people have more disciplined methods where it's like, obviously the odds dictate the probability, right? That's what they're supposed to do. So they do a scaling thing, and that's fair enough. It's just waiting. Yeah. It's just waiting of your bets and how it should come out. And you're like, but I mean, everyone has their methods. And obviously it's key. The key to it all is discipline and knowing your areas of expertise. Like if you're able to make money at soccer, then that's where you should focus, and that's where your staking should be aligned to. But if you have the odd bet on a horse or American football or something like that, your staking levels should go down, right? Because obviously the more you know, the more you perceive you should be weighting your bets on that. Anyway, that's the way I think about it anyway.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that for sure. And the odds, how the odds versus the likelihood dictates it. I know there's a lot of models and stuff out there for that, so it's very interesting. I've backed that as well. I've backed that to Graph Shop at 11-10, and I've done it in a treble with over 2.5 in Cologne and over 2.5 in the Brentford Watford matches. Just the way you guys and Gary in the Brentford game. I've talked through them. I just think goals are definitely, on the menu there. So I've done a small treble.
What odds are you getting in that treble?
10-1.
God, that seems good.
Yeah, it's 19 to 20 for the Brentford game. It was a little bit above 6-5, but it's back to 6-5 now in the Cologne game, and then 11 to 10 in the other one.
I'm just looking at slats, trying to work out where he can get another unit to stake out of.
Yeah.
It's like, that seems good. Surely I can find euro to put on here.
I'm definitely tailing that, because it just, that has the sound or the feel of one of those ones that I just have FOMO, basically. It just sounds like it could come in and I could regret it.
Well, you don't want to be sitting on a stream with someone advising a 10-1 bet, or they're thinking then booming it, and you're like, maybe I should have followed that one.
To be honest, I have a FOMO ingrained into me. We all obviously used to work together with a few other friends of ours who are big horse racing gamblers, and the days when they come back to the office after lunch, having landed a big one at lunchtime, and you're just like, oh my God, I just want to scream with the FOMO. So now I tail almost everything. Goes quickly, PK. Was it Emmanuel Dennis that you said is kind of at the heart of everything that Watford are doing at the minute?
Yep.
He's 2 to 5 for a shot on target, but he's 23 to 10 for 2 shots on target. So I'm going to back that.
I mean, that's a big disparity for one shot.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if their algorithm let them down there or what, or maybe it's purely reliant on stats and he averages one a game or whatever. But in a game like this, I'm nothing against going with that market. No. My
kind of gut feeling on the shots market is that it comes from expected goals, and then from goals they've got like a kind of a flat line to shots, because there's no. Me and Slats have talked about this a couple of times. There's no, very, very few, other than like Ronaldo and people like that, where you see a significant difference in the kind of trajectory of their goals to their shots odds. If a guy is 11 to 10 for anytime goal scorer, he'll be 7 to 4 for a shot, and it just kind of work, or the other way around. Sorry, it's just very kind of consistent across. And there's certain players that I think are far more likely to have shots than goals. So yeah, that's why I think it's a good market at the minute.
It's not. It's probably not one they put much analytics into either. As you said, it's probably just derived off the likelihood to score market and their position they play, right? And it's a simple enough thing. Mm-hmm. But if you're good at watching games and knowing what happens, I'd say, and what's perceived to happen in the game, I think you can find value and a little edge on the bookies there in that one if you know what you're doing.
There definitely seems to be value in it. I think as well the fact that it's a kind of a relatively new market that the bookies are offering, they tend to start off a little more generous with their odds and then rein it back in a bit.
Wasn't it first? Well, the most like most markets, it was born out of like Betfair Exchange, right? So I mean, they probably just derived their prices from there too, right? And just build in their take. And
I'm not sure. Is that the case with that market though? I actually don't think it's available on the exchange. To show the target market, no.
Oh, okay.
I think it kind of came from, the kind of odds on that market, and people can kind of tweet in some of the bookies with, different like suggested bets that they kind of make, bespoke kind of trebles or bespoke accumulators that they put together for them. I think that might have been where it stemmed from.
Interesting.
But all the bookies moved into it pretty quickly, one after the other anyway.
Yeah, some have more coverage than others.
Some of them Betfair definitely have the best coverage in that market. We've coming in from Manuel, so you to say hi as well. So hello right back to you. If you want to let us know what games you're watching or what games you're interested in, if you've any bets on, if you'd like us to discuss a specific game, just shout it out there. We'll happily do it. Like the lads gave a nice analysis of that Dutch game. Actually, better back. Have you backed that, guys? That Dutch bet that you talked about in the
Cambuur game?
Yeah, Cambuur game.
No, I didn't get on it. No, I'm going to see how the second half starts.
What's the bet? The bet there is Cambuur to win, is it?
Yeah, just Cambuur to win, 8-5. Yeah,
it seems to be where the value is. Not going to lie, it just seems.
Yeah, I mean, you could go. Oh no, I was going to say you could go double chance, but it's 3 to 10 for Cambuur or the draw, so you couldn't do that.
No, not a huge amount of value there.
No. No, I wouldn't be going near that.
But statistically, they're well on top, so it's worth. I mean, I wouldn't put anyone off it either. It's just not a. It's not a. It's not a market that I bet in often, so I'm inclined to stay away.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a punt, but yeah. This Brentford Watford game is just after kicking off now as well, so an early goal there would be nice. I think anything we have on this involves goals. We obviously want Watford to win for that bigger version of the live action ACA, the 46-1, I think it was. But again, you'd probably take any goal at this stage in it because we need. Do we need both teams to score? No, we only need over 2.5, isn't it?
Yeah.
Over 2.5, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so just
So ideally, Watford go up 1-0, 2-0.
Oh, I'm watching it live here. There was a very good save by the Watford keeper.
Was it? I saw it was a Brentford corner, so
Yeah, it's gone out for a corner now. So
yeah,
you're again a little ahead of me in terms
yeah.
of that.
I'm just flicking through the betting sites, which are a little bit ahead, so I'll avoid that game if you're watching it.
Yeah, it's the only one I can get on live here in my region. So I'll keep an eye on this one.
Yeah,
But you had that exclusive package PK of every channel from every country.
I don't know why you keep accusing me of this. I have DAZN, and DAZN have Premier League rights in Canada, so I'm just putting that out there that it's perfectly legal.
Okay.
But it's still based on a streaming thing, so it like I have friends here that use it too, and it's the really bad thing about it. You could be texting about a game, but there could be a minute differential between our streams, which is really annoying. Like from one service provider apparently. And
wasn't there a game recently, a big enough game that like Amazon had it or YouTube had it or somebody like that? It definitely involved some Premier League teams. I don't know. Was it? Oh, was it that was it? It was the Boxing Day, St. Stephen's Day schedule last year, and it was in the UK and Ireland. It was all on Amazon, and it wouldn't have been last year because I was in the pub anyway. So maybe 2 years ago, and like people had the result, had seen the goals on their phone before it went up on the screen, and people were cheering, and then people were looking around, and then you see the goal. You're just like, nobody wants to be paying money for that.
That's shocking.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because it's just over the internet, so it's going to be behind. You know what I mean? There's no way around it. Like
that's the way my one works too, and that's why I'm slightly behind the bookies and what Slats is looking at.
It's awfully if you're ever watching a game that you're interested on, whether it was kind of recorded or you can end up you pause it and you're just a few minutes behind, and then the phone just starts buzzing, texts coming in, and you're just like, okay, something's about to happen in the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, gonna stay away from this.
Yeah, no, this game is going as well. It's only 5 minutes in, but as expected, they're both looking to attack. So I mean, it's promising.
Yeah,
they do with a goal in this Cologne game. I don't know. Is it the case of a disallowed goal should be a warning to avoid?
It's not quite as bad as a red flag, but it certainly is up there in terms of things that I don't have a good feeling when I see them.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. The Dutch games have kicked off in the second half now, so we'll be hoping for an early goal in the Ajax match. Hopefully, De Grasse Chapel go up 1-0. And I mean, I don't think any of us are on it, but we'll be hoping for Art's sake. Well, we actually don't know. Art, you might let us know what you actually are backing in that game if you bet something, but we certainly think, Cambuur have just gone up 1-0 actually in that game.
Oh, yeah. Lovely.
That's nice. What we expected to see.
Nice.
That was some timing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
very good.
Yeah, that was great value. They've gone into 2-5 now from 8-5.
It's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big swing, obviously, on the back of the goal.
Just when I was going through the leagues there, I something that I've noticed over the last couple of weeks is that team that Paul O'Connell famously named on Question of Sport one time, Borussia Mönchengladbach, they're having a very strange season.
Oh yeah,
and I'd keep an eye on them. They seem like, I mean, it's an important game. They're against Leipzig, who aren't doing very well in the league either, even though I think they qualified in Europe during the week. They lost 6-0 to Freiburg the last game week in Germany, and before that they lost 4-1 to Cologne, who are actually playing now. But 2 weeks before that they beat Munich 5-0, I think, in the cup. in the German FA version of the FA Cup, and 5-0, and Bayern didn't actually put out a weak team, so I just don't. And obviously, Mönchengladbach weren't good in Europe this year either. So
No.
I mean, they're one to keep an eye on. They could turn into another Schalke if things keep going the way they are. I believe, I think Leipzig are a decent price. Leipzig obviously just have to turn a corner. They're not going to turn into a bad team. But I
I
think
think for any of our newer viewers or anyone who's not familiar with Schalke's history, you might want to explain that last comment, or to anybody like me as well who doesn't know what you're talking about.
Schalke, weren't they they were one of the top German teams about 3 years ago, and then they had a pretty bad season 2 years ago, and then last year they just literally just fell apart. I don't know. I think they were near sure of relegation after halfway through the season. They had 5 points or something like that. Something went really bad in that club.
You just mean keep an eye out that they basically don't implode?
Yeah, exact same as Schalke. Schalke were really strong Schalke were in the Champions League most seasons for 10 seasons there. So, and produced some very good players, obviously. But yeah, it looks like Mönchengladbach have to watch their slide, because they've had some really, really bad performances across the board. Some really strange results. 6-0 against Freiburg is really weird. They're at home too.
Freiburg would be bottom half of the table, right? They're not.
I think they're in the
doing a bit better this season, right?
Yeah, they're actually up in 4th at the moment.
Oh, geez, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I mean, still, it's you shouldn't be losing 6-0 at home when you're an established team like them, you know. And they lost 4-0 to Cologne the week before, and they're not even getting men sent off. So trying to explain these results are a bit weird. So,
yeah,
I'd say Leipzig are 3-4 to beat them at home tomorrow. I just don't see why they wouldn't. So it'd be something I'd add in. But Mönchengladbach is a team I'm going to be keeping an eye on now for the next few weeks.
Yeah, I'm going to make a note of that myself, PK, and keep an eye on them. That sounds like a good angle there. I actually missed the start of this Charleroi Oostende game. I was watching the Serie A in the background. I flicked over, and the pitch is covered in snow. So not ideal for a bet that involves goals, but it does seem fairly open. So yeah, hopefully the weather doesn't have too much of an impact there. No goals anywhere else really at the minute.
I don't like snow for goals. Much like in American football, the weather like that dictates scores, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. Was there anything going on in the Serie A while you were watching it, LB? Did it quieten down after that?
No, it was pretty exciting stuff, actually. A lot of big tackles, and the crowd were very, very involved. So would not be surprised if there was more action there in the next hour of that game.
I might jump in and start watching it on Betfair just to keep an eye on it.
Yeah. You watch that one. I'll stick to the First Division A of Belgium.
Yeah, Grant. I'll keep an eye on this. Try to figure out who's who.
Yeah.
Nothing major to report in the Premier League game since, but
no. Did you what's gone suspended? What game is that? Goal. Lovely stuff. Charleroi scored. Oh, he's called it offside.
Back, has he?
Yeah, that would have been ideal. Charleroi to score early.
Is it definitely off because it goes to VAR, right?
Yeah, I can't even see. That is close. That is really close.
Go on.
And you know what? I'd be blaming the guy who I didn't see who passed the ball to him, but he went to pass and then hesitated and then passed it, and his body just kind of went for it. So
yeah,
if he's off though, it's gone to VAR here. If he's off, it's very, very close.
Minimal.
Yeah, exactly. But I was going to say something. No. I think we'll wait to see what happens here. The keeper has got the ball lined up for the free out, and he's rushing to take it here, putting his opinion out there anyway for anyone who's still watching on the pitch.
It's funny the way they do that, because it hardly at this point can have an influence.
No,
not on VAR any of this.
I was just watching some kind of a rugby kind of highlights video there earlier, and it was kind of like awful attempts to finish, what should be a try, and they drop the ball, spit it over the line, or do something stupid with it. And it was, do you remember Stuart Hogg against Ireland, Scotland against Ireland in the Six Nations? Not this year, but I'd say last year. And he was just in the corner and just spilt the ball and slapped it down. But he celebrated with his teammates. He was like hugging them and all, and he must have known. This is going to go to the video ref. I'm not going to get away with it. And he's given his team the impression that he scored.
Just trying to convince yourself,
because it did. I mean, he definitely gave the impression it was a try. And fair enough, before there was video ref, which even if in rugby, even if the ref doesn't call it, it's the same in football, actually, isn't it? I mean, the video ref is
review them all now
independently. Like, he never was going to miss it. It was absolutely blatant. And I don't know, is Hogg just trying to trick everyone into believing it was a try or what?
But
You'd love the NFL in that regard, Slats, because there's oftentimes when they throw the ball for whatever first down and it looks like it's borderline he caught it, but it might have hit the ground. And then the refs will go, a completed catch. And the guys will start running back to the line to get the next snap off, because once the next play starts, they can't review it. And that's basically telling the refs. That's basically telling the refs, I didn't catch that. But if we get the play off, you can't do anything about it. Like,
that's so true. Yeah. How that isn't a flag to the referee to actually look at the thing.
It absolutely is. Like, if you see them rushing to get the next play off, it's a sure sign that he did not catch the ball.
Absolutely. That's a good point. I never actually thought of that, PK, but that's a great point. Unfortunately, it has not gone our way at logic here, and the goal has been ruled off. So it is back to the 0-0, and the players are actually getting quite angry with the referee there. How long the VAR check took, and they were gesturing that, like, they're getting cold, like they're being snowed on, and they're standing around. So anyway, that's back on. It's 0-0. We have a couple of comments in, by the way. So sorry, before that, we just called them out. We've got one here from Lorraine, who it is
quite cryptic.
Yeah, it's a little bit cryptic. It's VOA FYI, maybe. I'm not sure. So if you, Lorraine, you want to give us a follow-up comment there, explain what that is. It kind of went over my head. And then we have a comment in from Med on Facebook, who has just put in that it's 3-2. I'm not sure what game that is either. So if you want to let us know what game you're watching there, we've got quite a few people in on Facebook. So make sure to keep those comments coming. And a reminder, we've got a treble on tonight. So it's Charleroi to win in 2.5 in Belgium, Watford to win in 2.5 in the Premier League. Oh, sorry, both teams are scoring over 2.5 in the Premier League, and Ajax reserves to win, and both teams to score in the Eredivisie. And we will be giving away that money should the bet land to the most engaged comment across our platform. So make sure to keep those comments coming. Ideally a little bit less cryptic than the last couple, but we appreciate all the comments, whatever they are.
I'm after having a look through all the live games currently, and there's 2 games that are currently 3-2, and they're both in the second
Dutch
division. And Dutch 2 is Den Haag, the Roda games.
Yeah, Roda and Den Haag. I mean, we haven't mentioned those so far in the stream, but they're the only 2 I can see that are 3-2.
Roda had a goal a minute ago, so it's probably in reference to that game, maybe.
Oh yeah, it was 2-2 at half.
Very possibly. Good insight.
It was 2-2 really early in that. 2-2 after 25 minutes.
Wow, that is early.
Classic Dutch football.
We have a comment in, Alexandru. I've bet win of Huesca and Badajoz in their board, I think, in the Spanish second division. So very nice. I checked the scores there. How are they looking, PK? You're the closest thing we have in this stream to a Spanish football expert. The opposite of me.
I'm going to have a look now. It's a long time since I looked at a league like that.
Huesca are 11-4 away to Sporting Gijon.
Yeah, they're a big outsider there. Yeah, I'd be interested to know what the logic behind an upset there. I'm seeing them at 3-1.
Huesca are pretty good away. They have.
I like that bet, Alexander. It seems to certainly my price range anyway. I like it.
Certainly must be pretty decent odds on that double. Yeah.
Yeah, Huesca have drawn 2 and won 2 of their last 4 away, and Sporting Gijon have lost 3 of their last 4 and drew the other one. So, I mean,
when you see it like that, you're like, "What? Who made these odds? Like, or what's going on?" I don't.
That's mad.
Gijon had won 6 in a row at home before that. I mean, like, it just seems and the last 2 head-to-heads now, not away from home, not like Huesca have won both of them 2-0. Or won both of them 1-0. So I mean, I think there's value there. And I'm guessing Badajoz is later. If
I can't
obviously
see
not
that
tomorrow.
one either myself.
It must be tomorrow then, is it? It sounds like a Serie B or
Segunda.
Liga de or whatever.
Yeah, it could be tomorrow.
Where are
Ajax
they?
just went up 1-0 there. Ajax reserves in the Dutch too, so that's good for our treble. We needed an early goal there. It's 53 minutes and it's gone 1-0, so that's definitely given us a decent chance for that to come off. Now we need both teams to score and Ajax to win, so they've taken the lead. So a goal from either side will do us there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. As in, obviously, we needed a goal to come soon, but
that was not a good O from PK anyway, whatever that was.
No, I found the bad at just game. It's a lower league. It's lower league Spain. It's
okay.
They're one. They have groups below. When you go below their second division, it's all grouped out. They're playing a team Ternana.
I see that game here now.
There's no way I'm going to find enough stats on this, but
no, they're odds-on favourites though. So it's a strange mix of a double of a 4-7 home win and a 3-1 away win. I mean, the 4-7 is definitely going to boost your odds on the 3-1. I just would like to hear if there's any more logic to the 3-1 shot aside from those form stats that you rolled out for us there, PK, which definitely make it sound like there's some value there.
I mean, Ternana have scored 4 and conceded 14 away from home in 7 games and have 2 points. So, I mean, Badajoz aren't bad at home. They're 11 goals, conceded 8, and they've 11 points from 7 games. So, I mean, I can see why their odds on the other team they're playing are horrendous away from home. So, I mean, I see nothing wrong with the bet, to be honest.
Yeah, I like the sound of it.
Not my area of expertise. I used to look at Spanish football a little bit, but I didn't have a good run for a while, and so I just straight away.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from that bet myself for your sake, Alexandru, because I think it's closed in on 3 years since I've won a bet, including Spanish teams. So I'm just going to not do anybody the disservice of getting involved in that bet because I'll just wreck it. But you seem to be quite knowledgeable on Spanish football, so let us know in the comments if you where you're picking these bets from, especially the lower league one. The Badajoz game is very interesting to hear how people pick those ones. I love to hear those kind of angles and stories. So let us know in the comments.
He could be the Gaz of Spanish football,
yeah, exactly.
I'm sure there's plenty of people in Spain that have good knowledge of the lower leagues.
Yeah, that is for sure.
Unfortunately, we're not them people, unfortunately, but
no. Give me 1 second here.
Anything going on in that Brentford game, PK? Are you still keeping an eye on it?
It's end to end, but no real good chances. I mean, they're getting in and around the box a lot, but doesn't look like there's much finishing. Yeah, the last ball is lacking. It's a corner to Watford here. It's just the final third, and both teams are kind of Brentford are packing out the box and Watford are just playing around the box, and then Brentford are trying to hit them on the break, but they haven't really had much going just yet. So it's still not. I still wouldn't put a dampener on goals in this game.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty early yet, right?
Yeah, the sooner we get one, the better. But it's
in those open games as well. That even if the quality is not that high, once somebody scores, then it can actually light up because they're clearly not defensively set up in this game. So certainly good. It's so funny in this Belgian game. You can see exactly where all the play is because the snow was being kind of worn off the pitch, and then there's parts of it that are pristine white where obviously the ball hasn't gone once.
Like a real life version of that action area.
Yeah, the heat map. Yeah,
the heat map. That's the one. Yeah,
literally a heat map, melting snow.
yeah.
Brilliant.
We have time in this German game. It's a bit disappointing that it's 0-0. Yeah, it's what is it? Cologne are at 11-10. Goals must be very highly priced. I don't have it in front of me, but I'd imagine it's quite a good odds.
Yeah, I'm glad now that I didn't, because I was between that game and the Ajax game to put into the treble. So I'm glad I avoided that. The Bundesliga isn't one I'd be as confident about, a 0-0 at halftime and getting your 3 goals in the second half.
No.
No.
So yeah, it's definitely looking a little dodgy now.
Bad
it's still
news
1-0 to Ajax in that game.
Bad news for Alexandru. Ternana have taken the lead against Badajoz.
Oh, no. That didn't take long.
No.
That's very unfortunate.
Long time left in the game, though, but
Yeah, that's true. Time is certainly on your side, Alexander.
Yeah, and I mean, they're the favourites. If you back an underdog and they go down 1-0, you're looking kind of dead and buried, but there's plenty of time for a home favourite to come back from an early goal against.
Yeah. I'd be tempted to get on there. What have they drifted to? Can anyone see?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you on Bet365, they're 2-1.
That could be a good double now, the 2-1 and Huesca.
Steal the tip at much higher odds.
That'd be very bad form.
hey, any information given can be used at anyone's discretion, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 2-1 and a 3-1 double now. So, what are you getting there? 11-1. That does seem pretty decent.
Yeah. Lots of shots on goal in this Brentford game. None of them for Dennis, unfortunately for my bet. And
no, your man Mbumo for Brentford got on the break there and had a great shot from the edge of the box. Left foot whipped it in, but Watford just hit the post.
That
Who
would have been lovely.
Josh King, though.
That would have been ideal.
It came off the post. It was a good chance. There's lots of chances in this game. It's opening up now again. But the keeper made a great save from Mbumo. I'm not sure if the Brentford keeper got a touch on this. He might have. It's very close. No, just off the post, whipped in from outside the box, just hit the butt of the post. 1-0.
Oh, lovely.
Watford. Who's this guy?
Please be Dennis.
Sweet.
No, is this Cornet fella? No, is it? I don't know who he is, actually. No, Cornet plays for Southampton, sorry. I actually have no idea who this is. It could be King. Dennis. There we go.
Oh, yes. Good stuff, PK.
I think there was... Sorry, I just don't know many Watford players. I haven't watched many of their games this year. But he... there's like 3 of them lined up from the corner to head it in. And he was just the first man there.
Sweet.
Yeah. Good powerful.
What do you have him for again, LB?
2 shots
back for 2 shots on target, and then Evan backed with 2 shots on target and both teams to score.
2 shots on target was 23-10, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It was 2-5 for 1, and now he's basically got, what has he got? 60 minutes, 65 minutes to get another one. Crazy price.
Yeah.
It's 10-1 exactly on Betfair for the double of the two Spanish teams, so that odds on home favourite were only 13-8 when I got it. So I've just put a small stake on that double, and hopefully for all involved, it's not a traditional curse that I seem to have with Spanish. A curse or just absolute lack of understanding. I don't know.
It's already losing, so you can only do so much damage at this stage.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah. Actually, Alexander, you didn't actually say explicitly that it was a double, and I know some people we get in the comments from time to time don't back, ACCAs and doubles and stuff like that. So let us know if you back them as singles individually or together. That'd be good to know.
Yeah. I was just looking at my fantasy team there, actually. Not sure if either of you play a fancy Premier League, but the whole COVID thing now with Spurs is causing havoc.
I can imagine, yeah.
With no Spurs or Brighton players playing, reshuffle your team, because obviously, I don't know.
You have it in the 5 scores.
Cambuur 2-0.
Lovely.
Yeah, I saw it was suspended, yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering which way it was going to go.
It's a penalty too, so it's not going to go to VAR or anything like that. He scored it, so.
Oh, nice. Hopefully, Arts, that you're either a Cambuur fan or a Cambuur bettor, but either way, we appreciate you giving us that winner there at halftime.
Well, he asked about the game, and then we I think deciphered the winner, didn't we?
Yeah.
Can we take credit for this one?
Apologies, PK. I didn't mean to steal that one from you. You're still expert.
I'm only joking. It's probably not a game I would have looked at if I wasn't asked. So I didn't actually back anything either. So I'm hopeful Arts did.
Very nearly a goal for Charleroi here again. Really good ball over the top, and the centre forward just couldn't quite control it. Maybe he's a bit ahead of him, so it's a corner now. The keeper rushed out and it went out for a corner. it is really bucketing down in terms of snow there. So I would love to see these goals come early.
LB, did you say you got this Badoja's Spanish team on Betfair?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing them anywhere.
No?
No, I can't see it at all.
Can you search a team name in it?
I don't
are you on the exchange or on the other one?
I got it. Never mind. I found it.
Yeah. Primeira Division RFEF Group 1. Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, that double is, a tenner will pay 117.
You see, you got £7 drift on me there, but it looks like a good one.
Got Brentford.
So how is our treble looking now? Watford going up 1-0 is decent, and it's decent for the boosted treble as well, with Watford to win and both teams to score. Or sorry, Watford to win over 2.5.
Not ideal in terms of the Belgian game is not ideal in terms of that bet. We are time on the clock there, 43 minutes and no goals. So
yeah,
is there any hope of it being abandoned? LB, no. Right,
I was hoping that myself. I think it's just bad enough to wreck the game without actually getting it abandoned.
That's horrible, though.
Yeah, do you know what I'm looking at here? Watford are 5-6. I mean, that's a pretty good price for a team that are 1-0 up, considering the run of fixtures they've had. Seems like a bit of value there.
Yeah, I mean, Bournemouth have had the ball since, but no real great chances. It's what you
Brentford.
kind of expect, but Watford have looked dangerous every time they've attacked. So, I mean, 5-6 for a team that's winning, I would not be against it at all.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of times we see that with the bookies where the team was an underdog beforehand, so they're going to stay an underdog even if the game actually hasn't panned out the way that that it looked. So, anything happening in the graph shaps, lads?
Still nil all, and I think this half, the grass chap have had 2 shots. Helmet have had 1, their first shot. So it's been a little more balanced so far. It's 70 minutes now, so the over 1.5 is starting to become a bit of a doubt. But it's that sort of thing that if the grass chap, break that deadlock, they've had 13 shots with 8 on target. If they do manage to score one, you can certainly see them getting a second. But yeah, the time isn't great. You'd be hoping for the first to have come before the 70-minute mark. Certainly before the 80-minute mark, or I'll be assuming it's dead. But
write it off at that point, yeah.
Yeah, certainly, yeah. So I'll keep an eye on it and let you know.
Carlito has commented in 2-1. Not sure, maybe that's the Badgeros, the Huesca game, or no, the Badgeros game where they're going to come back and win 2-1. Is it? Or
hopefully that's what it's referring to.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, it's another cryptic one where not really sure where to go with it. But yeah, if it goes,
we scan through the results here to see any 2-1s out there. And the Ghent women are winning 2-1. I doubt that's the comment. Anything in the Dutch second division? NAC Frida have just equalised against Almere. God, nearly every single game in that league is a Goal-Rama tonight.
Back to what it used to be.
Except the ones that I want to be Goal-Ramas.
Yeah, Carlito, let us know what game you're looking at there that's gone 2-1. I don't see anything jumping out at 2-1 at the minute. Closing in on half time here into the last 60 seconds of additional time. Nothing much happening. The free kick into the box and the keeper was fouled. A very soft foul, but without a doubt in this modern day, a foul on the keeper it's a low bar, so nothing there.
Yeah, that's the truth. I'm just looking. The Northern Irish game is 0-0 at half time, and
you're speaking to a Northern Ireland expert, PK. That Slats is old hunting ground.
Well, I'm just saying they never end 0-0. So I'm just wondering.
No, there does tend to be plenty of goals there, and you've an away favourite there, like still Lerner 4-5 to win right now, which I think is a good sign for second half goals. Like they're more likely to win than not to win, and they're on the road.
They're well on top. I'm just wondering. I was kind of looking at maybe I'll do over 1.5 on that.
Over 1.5 is around evens, like so.
That's what I'm thinking. There's a lot more. Yeah, it's 11-10 on Bet365 over 1.5. So I'm going to jump on that on the premise that there's generally goals in these games. Now, I'm not sure what the weather is like there. I wouldn't imagine too great, and the pitch probably isn't in great condition. But we'll chance it for a little bit.
Yep. Halftime in Belgium, the players trudging off down the tunnel. So, not what you want to see really there with the weather, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, again, like an early second half goal could open it up a bit, hopefully. There hasn't been much more going on in this Serie A game either. Kind of quieting down once I flicked it on the Genoa Sampdoria game. It's still 1-0. It's a minute into 2 minutes of first half injury time. So it's probably going to go to half time 0-0. Our expectation on this game was both teams to score. So we got a lovely early goal for Sampdoria, who in fairness were favourites, but they're the away team after 7 minutes. So we were looking good. But yeah, so far it's staying 0-0, just nearly half time now.
It is just it doesn't look like halftime, but the players look like they're walking off in this Sporting Gijon Huesca game. As one guy was just subbed off, just whatever way they showed it looked like the players are walking off. It's stark contrast to the weather in the Belgian game, and Gijon nearly scored there. Very good save. So hopefully for you, Alexandru, and for me now that those saves keep coming. Going to make a point there. Now that's going to halftime, I think we should jump into some of the articles, guys. So for anyone who is familiar with us, we do this in association with the website SportsRunDown.com, and there's a few league specialists over there who like to run us through their bets every weekend. Obviously, we've talked through the article tonight that we're looking at here, but we also have some from the Serie A. You're going to talk us through that. Enzo's insights. He's our Serie A expert on SportsRunDown.com.
I thought you were taking the Serie A, I'll be right.
Oh, apologies, sorry.
No, you're grand. I was supposed to, but I looked at the League One instead, so I'll go through that a little later.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Enzo he's our boots on the ground in Italy, so he's our Serie A expert. He's a very different type of bettor than ourselves here. He looks at kind of different markets, but he's got a few good ones. He's got a little bit back to normal this week. He had a lot of win to nils and kind of interesting bets like that over the last couple of weeks, but some great calls. This week he's looking at the Torino, Bologna, Napoli, Empoli, and Sassuolo Lazio games. So in the Napoli Empoli game, he's gone for over 2.5 in both teams to score. He's tempted by Empoli at 9-1 as well. He thinks that Napoli, he said they're not quite ready to be called crappily, is what he says in the article, but they're on a bad run. I think they'd only conceded something like 3 goals in the first good few games of the season, and they've conceded 8 in their last 5. They conceded 8 in their last 5 games. They conceded only 3 in the 11 before that. So it's just going really wrong there for them at the minute, mostly because of injuries. There's a lot of guys there. Lobotka, Kulavule, Oshiman, Lozano, a few other big names there are all out, and he thinks this is a great time for Empoli to play them. Empoli on a great run for themselves, but they have had a pretty handy schedule. So he's going to wait and see if Insigne and Fabian Ruiz are both fit. If they are, he'll probably leave it off. But otherwise, if they're not on the team sheet, maybe a bet on Empoli as well at a huge 9-1. But the over 2.5 both teams to score.
9-1, I see them at, yeah.
I mean, I don't think any two teams in the same league really should be, 9-1. But yeah, so just outside evens for both teams to score and at least 3 goals there. He likes that one. I like that market myself as well.
Empoli, they haven't been bad on the road this season either. Looking at them, they beat Juventus their first away game of the season. Obviously, Juventus were off the boil early on, but they're still taking their chances against teams out of form, which is exactly the angle here. And they've won 4 of their, I think, 8 away games, 4 of 7 away games this season. So that's pretty impressive.
Exactly.
4 wins and a draw in 7 games on the road, only losing to Roma and Verona.
Yeah. So another one now, he's gone from fancying an away team because of injuries. Now he fancies a home team because of injuries. So Lazio travelled to Sassuolo, or they travelled to take on Sassuolo. There's 2 big names missing or potentially missing for Lazio. So Milinkovic-Savic is out. He's suspended for excessive protesting. So that's a nice mark, a nice offence to get yourself suspended for. And then Endo has a suspicion that Ciro Immobile will be out as well, so he's got a kind of a persistent niggling knee injury. He kind of played through the pain to help Lazio progress in the Europa League midweek, and Enzo thinks he'll sit this one out. So if they're both out, then it's nearly 2-1 for a Sassuolo win, or 15-8 with most bookmakers. And actually myself and Enzo spoke during the season, and basically my feeling on Lazio this year is, whoever's the highest priced team in the game is worth backing. Lazio are quite inconsistent. So he does give the caveat that he did actually promise never to bet on a Sassuolo game again earlier this year, but he's going back on that because the price here is too good. So that's the leg there. And the other one he's got is in the first game of the weekend for this bet is Torino Bologna. He doesn't think it's going to be a great game. He actually says if you're on the hunt for a thrilling tete-a-tete, this is probably one to skip. He doesn't think it's going to be very entertaining, but he thinks Musa Barrow is a huge price at 13-5. He really rates him as a forward. He just thinks that the Barrow struggles to finish, and there's a lot of strikers these days. They've got all the skills you want except the ability to finish it. But he's got 5 for the season so far. He scored a wonderful goal last weekend, and 13-5 there. So Enzo never tips these up as trebles. I usually back them as trebles myself when they're there. So they'd be like, I didn't do this one yet, but 13-5, 21-20, and 15-8 would be a pretty huge treble if you add all those up. So that's the Serie A insights there, Enzo's insights. I like those actually this week.
Yeah, some good, yeah.
Yeah, it's one Salernitana to lose, or to not score and lose last week as well came in, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's had a few great ones.
I like them bets.
Yeah, you're a fan of those markets too, though. Slightly different markets. So I don't usually go into them, but I like them when they're tipped up to me like that. I can't say no to them. It's all Gijon here in this Spanish Segunda Division game. Yellow card for one of the Gijon players. Thankfully, that's good.
I saw that. Yeah, they looked like they were really turning the screw. I was even thinking of a halftime lead for them. Mightn't be a good bet. 6-1 they are now for a halftime lead, even though it goes completely against our double. But they just have had so many chances in the last 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, like looking at it there, 9-10 players for Huesca in their own box. So a lot of pressure there. But I think that yellow card, it might just give him a bit of breathing room to scrape by to halftime. So I'll stay away from that myself. That is the Serie A angles we have. How are your games looking, guys, at the minute? Much going on?
Very little. No, I wish there was more to talk about. Still 0-0, the grass chap, which we're running out of time. It's 81 minutes there now. So and like they actually haven't had a huge number of shots in the second half. I kind of thought they'd kick on from their 13 shots in the first half. No, was it 13? Jeez, I think they only have 14 shots now, and they certainly had 11 or 12 at least those in the first half. So they've been up to very little the second half, which is disappointing. For the treble, Ajax did go up 1-0 for us early enough in the second half, but it stayed that way. That game seemed to go on. I think there was a lot of first half injury time in that game, so it's just gone 75 minutes, or it's just into 76 minutes now. So a bit of time left there, but we need both teams to score as part of our treble and Ajax to win. So we're kind of up against it there as well.
Yeah.
And I was keeping an eye on that Serie A game, but it's gone into halftime now. Genoa Sampdoria, and it stayed 0-0, so not much there. And then Bundesliga, that's kicked off again. It's 52 minutes and it's still 0-0, so we'll be hoping for an early goal there as well in the second half.
Yeah, we kind of badly need that, really, don't we?
Yeah.
A couple of my in-play bets for sure. What are you watching, PK? You still watching the Premier League for us?
Yeah. I mean, it's still the same sort of format. The Brentford just went through on a break. They keep trying to use Mbeumo's pace, but they're using him down the right wing, and he keeps having to check back in on his left, and they know that. So it's not really very effective at the moment just yet. But Watford still look the most likely to score, even though there's a corner here, but it's a horrendous corner. Watford do look still the more likely to score, so that price of whatever 10-11 that time, or 4-5.
They're still 4-6. So
seems generous coming up to half time. It is another Bournemouth corner here, but I mean, Bournemouth are just playing counter-attack, and
you have a mental block on that because you keep saying Bournemouth even though it's Brentford.
You have said that a few times.
Yeah.
We were on the Bournemouth game last week. Right? They're all championship sides. They're all the same.
Oh, very good.
Nearly scored from that corner, but just over the top. Yeah, Brentford. I think I've said it all game. Actually, I don't remember saying Brentford at all.
Feels
So
unfamiliar when it comes out. Then, yeah.
yeah. No, Brentford nearly scored there from the corner, but goal kick now. Still looks like more goals in this game though. I just hope that obviously one comes sooner rather than later.
Yeah, for sure, or at least a shot for Dennis. That would be a lovely one for me.
I am looking at Dutch 2. There's like both teams to score in every match except the two that we've happened to get on. Now, in fairness, one of those, I suggested it because it was 0-0 at halftime and looked like it should have second half goals. But we've still definitely gone on to the wrong games this week in the Dutch second division.
The only games with both teams to score, not for both teams to score.
Yeah, like so many goals there, 3-2, 2-1, a few 1-0s, another two, just 3 games or 3-2, and we've a 0-0 and a 1-0.
Do you remember you used to do those bets? I don't know if you still can. Like in the bookies, they'd have the Premier League kind of printed out sheets, and it was like total goals of the weekend. You'd have to back with like over 25 goals or whatever it'd be. I feel like in the Serie B and the Dutch Eredivisie, you'd always win. But like we seem to just get the 0-0s.
I know.
No, but the line in theirs to be
it'd be so much higher. Yeah.
37 or something like that. Yeah.
10 games. Yeah, 37 goals probably. Yeah.
Yeah. I've only ever seen that bet available for the Premier League. I haven't seen it available on other leagues.
Yeah. The game there where I've money on as well. Genoa don't seem to have done much against Sampdoria so far.
Sure don't.
No.
Sure don't. Huesca had a really good chance there, by the way, in this. They're on the break here. Go on. Well, that's got to be a card for that. It was a 2-on. This could be more than a yellow. No, I was just giving him a yellow. This is a 2-on-2 breakaway for Huesca. Broke into the other half. One guy had the ball. He had a guy with him, and then just the 2 centre backs back, and he just got hacked down. Like really, really cynical. 44 minutes on the clock. Would have been a lovely one for Alexandru in the comments, but unfortunately not. That's a yellow card if there's no cynicism involved, because the ball was at least a meter in front of the Huesca player, and the Gijon guy just came in behind him and just tackled him across the knees, basically. So never was going to injure him, but just an absolutely woeful tackle and nowhere near the ball and cynical. So now that I've got Huesca back, I think that should be a red card and a 6-match ban, really, for whoever that guy was.
The grass chap went down 1-0 here. Hellman scored fairly against the run of play. I mean, certainly against the run of play of the game. They've been involved much more in the second half. I'd say both teams have had 3 shots in the second half and a similar amount of attacks, and the possession has kind of swung back a bit in Hellman's favour. Mm-hmm. They held the leaders, Volendam, to a draw with Hellman at home, I think maybe last week, either last week or the week before. I'm kind of thinking maybe, I don't know what has gone on there, but if it's a bit of a turning point in their season, I'm going to keep an eye. There might be a bit of value for backing them.
How long is left in that?
There's only 3 minutes left. I was thinking it might be like the grass chap actually had only their second shot on target of the half just after that goal went in. So I was kind of thinking maybe that could be something to spark a bit of life into them, and needing 2 goals now kind of helps the over 1.5 part of the bet. If the grass chap want to win, they have to score twice anyway. So you wouldn't know in Dutch 2 if they get one before injury time. If they get one in the next 2 minutes or so, they could go on and win the game. But it's a little late. It would have been a bit better now had that Hellman goal come 15 or 20 minutes ago.
Sometimes with that market, like winning over 1.5, it's nearly a blessing in disguise if they can see, because the other team still needs to score 2 goals.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because you need a 2-0 win, so it might as well be a 2-1 win. And they can't go up 1-0 and just sit on it for the rest of the game. I'd be quite happy with the Hellman goal had it just come a bit earlier. I just think even if the grass chap go absolutely all out for the win now, they just are going to run out of time. Maybe they get it back to 1-1, but we'd be quite lucky here now if they manage to go on and win this from here.
Yeah, it's half time in that Segunda Division game, so you dodged the bullet there by not backing the halftime leaders.
Oh, that's
0-0,
true. Yeah.
That's good news.
Half time in the Premier League too. I wouldn't be. I still wouldn't be too worried about this over 2.5. Something's going to happen in the second half here. And that Dennis guy, if he doesn't get a second shot on target, I'd be very, very surprised. They're aiming every cross at him. He's very strong in the air, so
he's 5-4 for another one, which I think is probably still slightly juicy, because I'd say, he was based on the fact that he was 23-10 beforehand, but not a bad one there.
I'd take it, that's for sure.
But I'm already loaded up on this game, so I'll pass. But
no, I mean, but like just in general,
it's
like,
a good price.
Dennis for another shot on target, I don't see why not.
No. Comments are going to be dry, guys. So anyone still with us, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, drop us a comment. Let us know what games you're watching, or any team you're cheering on, either as a fan or as a bettor. Let us know. Carlito, you never got back to us on the 2-1, which game that was. Plenty of them available, but I'm just not sure which one you're watching. And unfortunately, the games we're watching are mostly 0-0.
We seem to have picked the wrong ones tonight.
You know what, though? I'm quite happy. The way the stream goes, I mean, anyone who wasn't with us last week, we had a 45-1 winner, so we had 3 games, and everything landed our way, and we got 450 quid back off that one to give away to a viewer. And I'd much prefer to go, all right, all wrong, all right, all wrong, as opposed to get 2 out of 3 every week, which would be pretty soul destroying. So
and get heartbroken, yeah.
Yeah, if you get your bad luck or your bad picks in clusters, I think you're much better off than getting them just scattered all the time.
Definitely a more profitable way for things to land, all right.
Yeah, especially if you're like us and you back them in doubles and trebles and fourfolds, it's certainly better to go that way. So, anyone watching the La Liga Primeira Division game, the Mallorca versus Celta Vigo, doesn't seem to be a huge amount happening. It's on the verge of half time, actually.
I took a look at it, and it's a very uninspiring game between two very mediocre teams. I mean, 0-0 might have been the bet there, or under 2.5. So it doesn't give you much to think about in terms of the whole game. I don't like shouting for unders.
I don't think every bone in my body to do it.
I don't think most bettors do it. Like,
no, it's a hard. You'd wonder like who's getting on the other side of that market, because it's a very popular market, but I don't know many people who back the unders.
Just arbitrary bettors, right, that are hedging and locking in some profits somewhere. You would have thought it's not somewhere.
You'd have to think as well that the bookies try to have their lines balanced. You know what I mean? Their markets balanced and have the same on either side of any event. But you have to think the over 2.5 is their most lopsided market of all, because there's invariably people back overs. I don't know anyone who backs the unders really on any kind of regular basis.
It's horrible watching a game or like keeping an eye on a game, and you're like, don't score. Don't score.
No, you'd have to just be stepping away from, put on your bet, step away from it, not even look at it again until the 90 minutes are up. Like,
don't look at it. Like, we did it for an NFL game last week, LB, the one that was in Buffalo.
Torture.
New England against Buffalo, because there was wind, like 50 mile an hour or 50 kilometer an hour winds, and pretty snowy weather. Was horrible. So generally that ruins a game of football, because if you throw the ball, the wind will kind of affect it and all this. And then, it came to fruition that both teams couldn't do anything with the wind and just kept running the ball, and it was all very predictable and pretty crap. It was an awful game of football.
But I had taken the alternative under, so under 30.5 points, and it was much more stressful for me than anyone who just backed the regular under. Yeah,
I got a 40.5, but you got greedy, so but you did land a nice bet though, so
70-1. It was a nice boost, all right. A good run with those, actually, I must say, at the minute. Although that Champions League shots on target one has left a bitter taste in my mouth. It will take a while to get over that.
Oh God, that was
3,000 to 1 or something. It was even
3,000
above,
bit higher than tiny bit higher. At €3.33 on at 3,000 to 1,
or one shot or 2 shots on target. Sorry.
Yeah, but he had 4 is the worst part. Like.
Twitter didn't like our tweets about that either.
I got a black mark against my name on Twitter then for just pointing it out. I don't know what I did wrong, but I got terms and violation of terms and whatever email or notification off them. So
Really?
And I commented saying
I didn't know that.
that's disgusting, and then I got the same thing.
yeah,
I think
really.
maybe because was Jude Bellingham tagged in it, and like he was the player that we needed to score. But
It must be.
It wasn't anything aimed at him. It was just referencing the bet. Like it's not like geez.
No, I mean you see stuff on Twitter of people like absolutely abusing the hell out of people, and it just stays there. And I just put up lyrics from the Hey Jude song, but I'm more disappointed that the bet didn't land anyway because it would have won 10 grand off that. Would have been a delightful.
Yeah, that was sick.
Us have equalised here against Ajax, so we need Ajax to win and both teams to score. So it's 1-1. We've both teams scoring. It's just going on to the 89th minute, and we need Ajax to go up and get a winner.
With any league, though, that's the league that you want this to be in.
They've been on top. They haven't dominated that much. They've 60% of possession, but everything else is fairly balanced. But yeah, I mean it's definitely possible. We'll see now. It's the 89 minutes, so we'll see how much injury time there is. But yeah, it's definitely possible for them to kick on and get a winner here.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. You'd want them.
Oh, it's actually gone suspended, and they're on the attack.
Oh,
that'd be unbelievable.
It's not looking like anything. It's still suspended. But
I hate those suspensions that just go game end.
Yeah. Well, God, that would be very disappointing. There's still 30 seconds of normal time. Whatever about injury time. Yeah, it's still suspended here, but the graphics showing what's going on in the game don't suggest that there's anything coming from it. And it's us actually on the attack now. So
Charleroi just put the ball really nice, kind of half volley, and just put it wide. Oh no, keeper must have tipped it around the post. Apologies, it's corner here, so that's great news.
4 minutes injury time in this Ajax game, so that's not bad. You take that. 4 minutes for Ajax to push up and get a winner.
Yeah.
Larne have just gone 1-0 up against Ballymena in my over 1.5 second half goals bet, so
nice one.
It's looking all right.
That's exactly what you want, yeah.
52 minutes gone, so loads of time for another goal. So big chance for Sampdoria, apparently.
Charleroi put the ball in the net, like near.
Like want it.
No, but that's been disallowed. So the near side of the 6-yard box, just the most simple corner, you can see, kind of whipped it to there. Guy put his head on it, deflected it into the near post. But the far end of the box, like out by the D, one of the Charleroi players just kind of barely touched one of the Oostende guys, and he fell on his ass, and the referee just blew it up, and it wasn't given. But it was like 10 meters away from where the goal was scored. A really, really annoying one to see there. Got another corner, and it has been safely picked up by the keeper. So, two really good chances for a Charleroi goal there. None of them converted, so pretty disappointing.
2-0 Sampdoria. Still obviously need Genoa to score, but I mean, the more Sampdoria go ahead, the more likely they are to take their foot off the gas. So,
here we go. Sorry, PK. 1-on-1 with the keeper.
That's a good.
He ran into the keeper. Like he could. He had probably 35 yards of open space in front of him, and he ran the entire 35 yards and just bounced it off the keeper's. God damn it! Right. So still 0-0 in Belgium. It could be easily 2-0 Charleroi in the last 4 minutes. So this is like one of those things now. If they're not going to score soon, I kind of hope they pay the price and don't win. I'd much rather them not win than win 2-0 or 1-0. Very frustrating. Sorry, PK, I cut you off twice there. You were talking about something.
No, I think I just mentioned the Sampdoria Genoa game. I was just like, if Sampdoria take the foot off the gas now being 2-0 up, we might get a goal of Genoa for that both teams to score bet there.
Nice, yeah. What? Does anyone remember what odds over 2.5 was? Was it better than both teams to score or worse than both teams to score?
In which game is that?
Sampdoria. Genoa.
It's usually worse than. Is it? No. Are they usually similar? I'm not sure. I don't remember it.
I didn't see it either. I don't think so. Yeah, well, let's hope if it goes over 2.5 that Genoa get the goal, and then that's
be ideal.
We're covered. I have Gaz's EFL tips for the weekend.
Yeah,
ready
great
to
time to
watch.
jump through those. Yeah, let me just line it up here, PK. If you want to talk us through, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, unlike it's usually Gaz puts in a goals angle on his accounts, but he's gone for a straight win one this weekend, and it all looks pretty good. Gaz's record at EFL is quite astounding. How he has time to go through all them leagues, I don't know. But
Point.
he fair play to him. But he started off this week with Fulham against Luton. He's going with Fulham. A game we covered last week was Fulham and Bournemouth at the top of Bournemouth in the Championship, not Bournemouth in the Premier League, by the way. We covered that game last week, and they were pretty good against Bournemouth. Fulham were. Mitrovic had a lot of chances, but no shots on target for us, unfortunately. But they've drawn their last three, but against decent teams, and they've actually played quite well. So they have. Luton won last week, but in their previous four, they've lost three and drawn one. Blackpool just wouldn't be on Bournemouth's level either. Fulham have scored 26 in their last 10 games away from home, and they've the second best away record in the league. So Luton have lost their last two at home as well. So I mean, the price of 10 to 11 on Fulham there seems quite appealing. So it does. As Gary called it, they've dangled a carrot there, and he's willing to bite. So
yeah.
We'll go along with him. The next one then is in the League One. It's Sunderland against Plymouth. Sunderland have a very good home record. They have from 10 games they've won 8 and drawn 1 and lost 1. During the week there they beat Morecambe 5-0 as well, so they're on a great run. Plymouth were top, but they haven't won in 4 now. They've drawn 1 and lost 3, and they're starting to slip. They have a leaky defence, especially away from home, and as Gary states, Sunderland have averaged 2.2 goals a game at home, which is quite the record too. So they're available there at 4 to 5, which seems like a very good price against for a really strong home team against an out of form team at the moment. So that's not bad there. And then next one he's gone for Exeter at home to Tranmere. Exeter suffered their first league defeat of the season, or first home league defeat of the season midweek against Northampton. But Gary seems to think they'll make up for that now. It was still a good performance against Northampton. He says how he'd know that. I don't know, because I don't even know how you go about getting highlights or anything to watch in that. But fair play.
I get the feeling from Gaz's articles that he actually watches all 300 EFL or all 60 EFL games every weekend.
That's why I say that. Like these things he comes out with is like, are you watching this live and all this? Like I'm like he actually. I think he does. I think he does watch extended highlights of all these games. So he's fair play to him in that regard. It's all very knowledgeable stuff he comes out with. Tranmere don't score away from home, and I think that's the main side to this bet. They've only scored 6 and 10 away from home, and Exeter are pretty good at home and tough to break down. So evens for home in here seems pretty generous, considering Gary thinks that they'll make up retribution for their loss there during the week. And then his last bet is Swindon. I think this is League 2. This is how bad I am with EFL. I don't even know if this is League 1 or 2, but I believe it's League 2. Swindon are 5th in League 2, yeah, as he says here. And they score a lot. They've won 7, drawn 2, and lost 1 away from home, whereas Barrow have only won 2 and drawn 4 of their 9 at home. Gary does mention how Barrow are quite hard to break down, and they're actually a pretty solid team, but he reckons Swindon will have enough for them. It's a kind of a top against bottom battle here, 5th against 20th, and actually, yeah, 31-20 for 5th place team against the 20th, even if it is home against away, is quite a quite a juicy price. And then when you put them all together, it's 16-1. So that it seems like a pretty solid accumulator there. Now
he's landed a few of those accumulators this season already, so definitely gonna get bite that carrot as well myself and get on that.
Without Gary saying it, I'm going to mention that if you put in every team to win and both teams to score as well in that, except Tranmere because they don't score, probably going to boost it because I'm not surprised. I'm not sure. Gary usually has a goals angle on his one too, and it seems to be missing this week. So I'll just add it in.
Yeah, I know he's under a bit of time pressure, so maybe he didn't even have time to get into the details on that for us. But that's a good point as well.
16-1 is 16-1, so you'll take it all day.
While you were talking, PK, Oostende had it wasn't a great chance, but it was an unbelievable shot, and I don't know how the keeper got down to save it. Dived all the way to his left and just palmed it around the side of the post. Really should be 1-0 Oostende. It was like a rocket of a shot, and in these conditions, I actually don't know how he saw the ball. I mean, maybe it's easier to see in person than it is on the screen here. But then Oostende had the corner, and it was one of those embarrassing corners that actually just went straight out for a goal kick. He didn't even reach the goal. I don't know what he did, but he just basically didn't even reach the box, or barely reached the box. So then Oostende had a really good chance. The Charleroi player was trying to break with the ball, and he left the ball behind him, and it was a 3-on-2 or maybe even a 3-on-1, and just a rocket of a shot, but straight at the keeper. He put his hands up, but if he hadn't put his hands up, it would have hit him in the ribs. So Oostende are 9-2 here. They were 5-1 a second ago to win this, and I would not be surprised. There's just Charleroi are getting really they're really throwing everything at it. They're getting very kind of loose, I dare say. So I'd be tempted by an Oostende winner here at 5-1. I haven't pulled the trigger on it. I might watch it for another couple of minutes. It's 60 on the clock, and just see how it goes. But there's a great chance for Charleroi. Charleroi, they're getting too excited, overrunning the ball a lot. That's 3 times now since you started that EFL segment, PK. They just left the ball behind them. So the snow is just unbelievably coming down here.
A couple other things happened while I was talking. The Northern Ireland bet is in. It's 1-1. So that was easy. That was easy money there. And Cologne have gone 1-0 down to Augsburg.
Yeah, I saw Augsburg went 1-0 up. Yeah, so
I'm contemplating double chance at 2-1 on Cologne now.
Have they been dominating that match enough?
Well, it's 62% possession, and no shots wise, no. But they've 7 corners to 4, and you'd have to think now it's Cologne are that good at home, and Augsburg are towards the foot of the table, that the pressure will come on from the home side. It's actually gone into 7-4 as I'm talking here. So just
would you instead be tempted by goals? Like, what's the price for more goals?
Another goal is 4-5, so they're definitely expecting
someone to score.
Yeah, and I mean, given that Cologne are by far the more likely team to score the next goal, or well, you would expect so anyway.
I'm just having a little nibble at double chance gone 9-4 now, so I'm just having a little nibble at that. Nothing, no major money, just a little fun bet. That's all. That's usually my angle is when these teams that are expected to win these games easy go down, that they'll pull a draw out of somewhere.
Yeah.
That Ajax game finished 1-1. They did have a couple of chances late in injury time. There was 4 minutes injury time, and they had a few. They had a corner, a shot off target, and then a corner within like the last 30 seconds of injury time. So I was kind of hopeful that there could have been a late win for us there, but that's the treble, this week's treble dead, unfortunately.
Now doesn't mean you have to stop commenting, guys. Don't keep letting us know what you're backing, what you're watching, and we'll keep talking about them for sure, even if the giveaway is dead.
Plenty of time left, and I'd be interested to see what other people are getting on. Hopefully they've had a bit more luck tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something really intriguing about this Belgian game here, even though it's quite a low standard, but it's something about it is quite. I'm sure there's going to be a goal. 62 and a half minutes gone, but still 0-0. But I think it's on the verge of lighting up here. Is my gut feeling.
Sunday League feeling, is it, LB? Is that the
exactly?
Kind of
Yeah.
Your local team down the Sunday League, just
waiting for it. I think now that I've said, we probably chalk in a 0-0 now with the the way I've said it. But yeah, how's that Serie A game looking? Anyone still
Nothing.
watching that?
I haven't been watching it, but the score, I mean, it's still 2-0. I didn't see Sampdoria second. But Genoa, I mean, yeah, they've had one shot on target, which I do think that came this half. And like PK was saying, you know, the Sampdoria might kind of start taking their foot off the gas a bit if the win is looking in the bag.
Yeah, they have less to worry about. They've less to play for, you know. So I can definitely see that happening.
Yeah, the first 5 minutes of the Brentford Watford the second half has been very scrappy. It's a lot less structured attacking than the first half anyway. So I'm hoping someone makes a mistake here for another goal, and that'll put us in a decent position regarding that bet. But
yeah, ideally it's a Dennis goal, or if not a Dennis goal, at least a shot. Oh, hold on here, great chance for Oostende. Oh, he's let it go past him. Oh no, it's a really clever play.
Gijon went up 1-0 against Huesca there.
That would have been the predictable pain when you back a first half leader and then they score right at the start of the second half.
That's true, isn't it? I've been at the end of that a few times. That early goal. It's gone suspended again though, so maybe it's going to be ruled out.
And Alexandru's bet isn't starting off great anyway.
No,
they're still.
Yeah, they're still down 1-0. Yeah. Yeah, it's not looking great. Now, maybe this goal won't stick. And if it doesn't, that's, you know, the bet's still quite on there. But it's still showing up as 1-0. It's just that every market's gone suspended on the game now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no real in-play angles jumping out to me here. Unless something happened in that Watford game. At the minute, I'm going to leave that one out. And like I said, Belgium could be a goal. I could easily see a goal not happening, but it's 2-5, which is pretty poor. Nantes to pull one back against Lens in the French League. We haven't really gone near that game tonight at all, so might as well just leave that one where it is. Yeah, nothing else really for me here in play at the moment.
I'll find something.
No, I'm looking. I'll be at the. What do you think? I'm just looking. I was flicking through the stats without even looking at the games. Just looking at shot stats, and there's been a huge amount of shots in that game. There's been like 8 on target and 16 off target, and I just saw that and scrolled across, and then saw it was Charleroi, Oostende that you've been watching. Like, but would you fancy goals to come there, or do you still think?
It's so open. Obviously, the weather is a big thing against goals. Yeah. But like, if you would just turn this on, say, you know, second half, basically, you would think that Charleroi were just hanging on here. They were the poor team, and that Oostende were kind of the, you know, flirting with the top of the table. So, you know, a lot of snow. The pitch is getting worse and worse. Visibility is getting worse. So it's hard to really be very confident on a goal. But I'm looking at Oostende are back out 5-1 here. I could see them winning 1-0. Oh, shot! No, the conditions are just poor.
Yeah, it's probably
handball. That has to be a handball. Maybe VAR review that. There was an Oostende shot and it looked like a handball to me by the Charleroi defender, but it's not being given. Yeah, 25 minutes left there.
Yeah, like 9-4 for 2 goals seems decent. You know, just based on those shot stats, but you're probably losing the value there, really, given the weather. It definitely is taken.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting? I don't see how either team can defend a lead here because the conditions are so poor. Like, how do you just sit back? So,
if there's one goal, it could lead to a second kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I just don't know what you do. Like, I mean, like the ball is so unpredictable here. They can't be. They've shown the replay there. It's gone suspended. I don't know, was VAR looking at that handball, but now that I've seen the replay, it's not a handball. His hand was his. Other different potential penalty elsewhere. So, yeah, I'll give it another minute. 67 on the clock, Slat. Sorry, I got a bit distracted there. We'll get to 70, and then I'll give you my final call. I might actually back goals myself at that point.
Sampdoria have just gone 3-0 up against Genoa, so I don't know if... Oh, actually, no, sorry, it's suspended and it's saying that Sampdoria were offside. I don't even know if they want the VAR. It's still showing 3-0, but it looks as if that's going to be ruled out.
We're up.
Suspended.
Yeah, I don't know why it's suspended. The odds are gone here where I'm watching it, but it's still in play, so I don't know what's going on there. PK, I know we're coming near the end of your time with us tonight, so any parting gifts, either bets for the weekend or in-play bets that are on tonight?
I'm just looking here. That Northern Irish game will probably have another goal, but there's only 20 minutes left. There's a Scottish game too. What I'm interested in, those Portuguese. We missed an angle last week, I think, in the Portuguese games.
We sure did.
That Gil Vicente away, they seem to be fairly dominating against Pacos Ferreira. They're 5-4. It could be worth a little punt. They do seem to be well on top stats wise, so I'm not going to claim to know anything about it, but there seems to be some little bit of value there. And then I'm trying to think about the weekend. I think one thing that no one here would know anything about, but I did tell you before the semi-finals of the MLS, I backed Portland Timbers to win it out. I think I got them at like 2-1 at the time, and now they're in the final this Sunday or Saturday against New York FC. It is in Yankee Stadium, but I do think Portland will win it. They've beaten the better teams in the playoffs too so far. They beat the number 1 seed, I think.
Right.
Kansas in the semi-final there. So they've been there, done it. They won it a few years back, and they've been in a couple of finals. So this is kind of their forte. They scrape through to the playoffs, and then they hit form then. And I don't see it being any different this year. They're more experienced, and they're probably a better team than New York. So I'd fancy them to win that. But yeah, not too much other in-depth stuff for the weekend in terms of soccer from me.
Okay, no, I backed that at 2-1 when you said it to me at the time, so I'll enjoy watching it on Sunday.
Yeah, I probably won't watch it. I'll probably watch American football ahead of it, but I'll keep an eye on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead, PK.
No, I was just going to say I think that's a wrap from me for this week. It's been a pleasure, but I wish we got more goals. But I'm still hopeful on Genoa getting a consolation. They're 3-0 down now, so hopefully there. I've made my money back on the Northern Irish game, so it'll be all profit if that comes in. But yeah,
nice
one,
okay,
PK.
well, thanks for joining us, PK, and we will see you soon, hopefully on the show. So take care.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
See you.
Bye. Good night, everyone.
Just want to get this out there. That's why we were talking. I've done one more goal in the Northern Ireland game, one more goal in the Huesca game, one more goal in the Brentford game, and one more goal in the Charleroi game. And that fourfold is between 6 and 7-1. So I'll just put that on for a small stake.
Seems pretty decent. So that's the Huesca, Brentford, Northern Ireland, and Charleroi games.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish. Augsburg just scored a second. What do we need? We had a double there with both teams to score there. Oh no, sorry, was it over 2.5 in that one? Yeah, I mean we're running out of time. It's 88 minutes are up, but any other goal there would be good for us.
Oh yeah, no, I did a double of both teams to score in the Serie and over 2.5.
And over 2.5 in Bundesliga, yeah.
Yeah, so another goal there would be lovely. Yeah, Cologne.
Yeah, any other goal, but yeah, time running out, but a few minutes there to get that one back. It would be nice considering it was 0-0 up until like the 70th minute. If there was 3 goals after that, it'd be a bit of an unexpected. You kind of would have written that one off. But yeah, the Gijon game, I could definitely see there been another goal. Aside from what you've said about the weather, like the shot stats are just keep going up and up, and that it's now 8 on target, 20 off target in the Charleroi match.
Yeah.
The Northern Irish game just has had another goal. Ballymena scored, so you're already
lovely
one in there. Yeah.
Sweet.
So that's looking well, that's in for that
Yeah,
leg.
looking
And what was
good. Yeah.
That's looking good. That should pay off. And what was the fourth one again? Oh yeah, sorry, Brentford. Yeah, I haven't been keeping much of an eye on that myself because PK was watching it for us. But Gary obviously had a lot of expectation for over 2.5 there. So with 30 minutes to go, you would be expecting another goal to come. Brentford at home are going to push on there, and
exactly.
You expect Watford will defend through attack by the sound of things.
Yeah, my Dennis he's out to 2-1 or 21-10, depending on which second I look at it, to get his second shot. So bit annoying. Oh, real good. Oh no, sorry, I was going to call it a penalty, but it was the wrong way around. It was the forward fouled the defender, so it's a free out.
He's 20-1 to get another shot.
21-10. 21-10.
Oh, 21-10. Yeah, that's more likely.
I don't know if I said that wrong.
He scored a goal with half an hour left. I was just thinking, is there just a chance of him being subbed off or something? Is that what's pushing up the odds? But it still would have been crazy odds.
So, Coffee, Iban, you've asked us there in La Liga who was winning. So I presume you're talking about the Primeira Division. So Slata, you looking at the odds there? What's the update in the Spain's top flight?
Yeah, Mallorca, Celta, Vigo. It's still 0-0. There hasn't been much action there at all, to be honest. I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, Mallorca 11-10, Celta Vigo 10-3. They're both kind of in around 3-1. The draw is already 8-11, and it's only 55 minutes, so it kind of gives you an indication of how things have gone there. We know that we've seen variation in the shot stats across different sources, but Bet365 are showing that there's only been one shot on target the whole match so far. Now,
so yeah, there's your answer, Kofi. 0-0. We have another cryptic message on YouTube comments from Charlotte Kennedy. You've said very similar to Loreen earlier. You've got voy.fyi. Now, I don't know, am I too young or too old or too slow to understand what that means, but it looks very similar to the other comment, and I just don't get it. But by all means, Charlotte, let us know what that means, and we chat through it if you like. 5-6 now for any goal here in Belgium. 15 minutes left. So tempting, but
that is very tempting. Yeah, I might jump on
the weather is just, if it wasn't bucketing down snow, I'd be all over it, like full bank, all over that.
Yeah, it's one of those ones you would feel a bit foolish if you got on it and it doesn't come in. You'd be like, of course, that wasn't going to come in.
You just look at the chances and you're like, they've had 30 shots in 75 minutes and they couldn't score. Why would I think they'll score from one of their 5 in the last 10 minutes? That's kind of sometimes the way I look at it. Oh, what a save by the Charleroi goal, the Oostende goalkeeper. Oh my God, 2 wonder saves in the second half. Do you know what? Sorry, I cut you off there, Slats, I believe.
No, I don't think so. I'm just now looking at that other Spanish game, this Bedoja's side that were odds-on favourites to win at kickoff, and they're 5-2 now. They're still down 1-0, 64 minutes, 5-2 for the win. But they've been on top of the game overall. You wouldn't look at the stats and think that they're the team losing. They haven't dominated or anything, but the way it. Just looking at the stats, I would fancy that if they did get an equaliser, that the momentum would massively swing to their favour and they'd be likely to get a winner.
Yeah.
But yeah, 65 minutes now. I don't know if I'd. It's the kind of thing I'd be tempted to put in a low stake double. I might actually get on them and a goal in Belgium.
Which is the team you're looking at there? This is that Haas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
3-1. You know what? I saw that in that Nantes game, and I don't really, they were 2-0 down and they were 40-1. Another 2-2 with half an hour left. You think, that's gotta.
Whoa,
that would have been nice. You'd be very confident about that now. Yeah. Just broken evens here for a goal in Belgium, 11-10 for over 0.5 match goals on Bet365. Tackles are getting a bit scrappy here now as well. A couple of yellow cards. Yeah, it's one of those ones that could easily. Yeah, I don't know. Just when you see that weather, suffered through Belgian winters myself, and it's just bitterly cold. So you could easily see it just fading away here once it breaks the 80-minute mark.
Yeah. I'm wondering where else to go. I'd like something to double up this Bedoja win with, just on some low stake bet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so tempted by that Belgium game, but yeah, maybe there isn't much value there.
I think it's finished in Germany, has it?
I think so. Yeah, it was 93 minutes were gone the last time I looked at it. So let me just see there. Yeah, it's wrapped up, finished 2-0, unfortunately. Genoa did just score as well, so we got the both teams to score in Italy. And I know PK will be happy with that. He was waiting on that for one of his bets for both teams to score there. So it kind of went exactly as he said as well. He was kind of saying
the consolation.
Sampdoria go more likely there, to take the foot off the gas and Genoa to get one.
What's on the clock there? Because I know Genoa were 125-1 not too long ago.
It's 78 minutes gone. Now it's just after going suspended again. So unless they're about to get a second, maybe they're reviewing that goal. It might not stick.
Yeah,
because it went suspended very soon after the goal went in. So that's normally what you'd expect to see is kind of VAR review.
Oh, goal!
Oh Charleroi. Shit! Charleroi just scored.
Boom! Yeah, goal 1-0. That was easy to say it now, but that has been coming. That goal.
It really has, yeah.
Oh,
no, God. I mean we thought it was just that added risk or loss in value of the bet with the weather so bad. It just didn't feel really worth getting on, but it kind of felt like it was coming too.
Yeah. That Aka I called out now is not looking too bad. Need a goal in Spain and need a goal in Brentford or Watford. So the two big prices have landed there. So I'm happy with that.
Right, I'm going to throw it on this crowd that we haven't spoken about because we know nothing about them. I did see these earlier in Gibraltar. I shouldn't mention anything now because the away team is on the attack. The home team, they've had way more shots, but they're a big outsider. They're like 7-1, 7.5-1 to win it. Now there's only 8 minutes left in the game. The away team are still 9-4 for the win, and the home team are 7-1. But they've had much more shots. They've had 6 shots on target to 1.
Who is this now?
Oh, sorry. They're called the FCB Magpies in the Gibraltar National League. This is where they're 10-1 on Betfair, and this is where I'm just going to double them with Bedoja, who are about 4-1 for a 52-1 shot. I'm just going to go very low stake on that double.
I need to get on this now. Where is this? Gibraltar,
yeah.
FCB Magpies.
That could be another territory knocked off the list of places that I bet on. It looks like that Genoa goal has stuck anyway, so I'm happy for PK there. He had a few decent in-play shouts there in the second half with that Northern Irish
for sure. Well. Yeah, I've thrown a fiver on that at 62-1 there. So,
I'm about the same. Yeah, fiver on it to win 308. So.
Oh, me too. 308 exactly. So
nice.
I think the Badajoz had actually tightened in the other crowd had drifted. So same Aka price. 82 minutes on the clock here now, and this is turned into a game of hoofball. Every time Charleroi get the ball, they get rid of it. But
really, probably the right tactic in the conditions.
The thing is, the ball, you try. I said it earlier. How many times they've overrun the ball, like dribbling, and then just leave the ball behind them because of the snow. So the pitch is obviously not behaving like they would expect or whatever they're used to. So pretty okay with that. I don't think the goals are going to come themselves. So let's see what happens there.
So just remind us there. You had Ireland, which came pretty quickly after you putting it on. It was a goal in the Belgium game, which is after coming in. So you're waiting on a goal in Brentford, Watford, which has just gone suspended.
Yeah.
And then
a goal in the Sporting Gijon, Huesca
Gijon,
game.
Huesca.
So both have 20 minutes left.
20 minutes, yeah. You'd be looking very well. If something's going on here in the Brentford-Watford game, I don't know if you're watching it. I know PK was keeping an eye on it for us.
I'm not.
No, nothing. It's gone off, suspended again.
There's
so
a yellow card there for Brentford. Is just what popped up.
Yeah. The frustrating suspension
Worst
when
suspension,
it comes up. Yellow card, and then you're still kind of, does it mean it's a penalty? And it's just free out.
The only thing worse than that is the phantom suspensions that Brentford used to do. You're watching a match live and it just goes suspended for no reason. I think because the guy in the office had to go out and top up his coffee or something like that, and he just suspends it.
Yeah, exactly.
Corner here for Oostende. Lovely now if they scored this. Brings my over 2.5 back into play, and like I said, now Charleroi can lump the win if they do it without the goals. Now it wouldn't be supporting it.
Yeah, absolutely. Always just go against the.
Yeah.
Bedoja just equalised. That's gone 1-0.
Oh, so lovely.
That's decent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was saying, and I could now be proven wrong since the first goal has come. I was saying I think if they get one back, they will push on to win. They'll have the momentum. They've dominated the most of the stats. So, in fact, I didn't see this before now.
The other crowd of a man sent off.
Yeah, they're down to 10. So, I mean, the momentum must already have kind of been turning after that. And definitely with a goal there and 20 minutes to go. Jeez, you'd be massively fancying them.
For that big odds one now, a Magpies. I can't even say it out loud, but a Magpies goal would be.
the Magpies. I'll never forget them.
They can snatch a goal.
It would be great. Yeah, I mean, we only had 8 minutes to play with, and it's down to 4 now. And to be fair, it's been all the away team. From what I've seen since we put that bet on, I think those I'd seen them early that they were dominating that game and were the outsider, and I don't think they've had a huge number of shots even in the last while. So,
right,
but
it's a Charleroi goal kick here, and they are taking their sweet time. So, suspended again in Brentford Watford. Any idea what's going on there?
I'm not seeing that as suspended myself. It's a Brentford free kick.
Maybe my suspension is just a bit behind.
Yeah, maybe it's not showing that there's been another card, but maybe it is something like that. But yeah, it's a free kick in from what looks like the kind of side corner of the box. But yeah, it's no longer suspended. I don't know either about this Gijon game. I don't know, is there much going on that at the moment? Gijon have the lead now. They seem to be sitting back on it, and Huesca don't seem to be putting much pressure on that.
Yeah, I'll flick onto it in 5 minutes when this Belgium Snowfest is over, and don't see there being much added time. The first injury here of the second half, so I'll try and catch the end of the Segunda game then. At that point, only been 3 shots on target in this whole match in the Premier League, and one of those was the goal from Emmanuel Dennis. And Buemo and Baptiste have both had a shot on target. That is it. There's been a save there from somebody, so that's presumably going to come with a shot on target in a second. But very low action in terms of the goal mouth. Coming in from Dermot, doubled Nantes with Badajoz at 7s. Nice one, Dermot. Love to know what odds you got Nantes at. I presume you did that at 2-0 and not at some point beforehand. But hopefully you get a bit of something there. Good chance here for Charleroi corner. So let us know, Dermot, in the comments what odds you got them at. Oh, sorry, 7s. What am I talking about? I only read the first line of that. You got them at 7s. Very nice.
It's suspended that game, the Nantes long game. I don't see why. It's just saying it's a substitution on screen. And the Gijon game is actually suspended as well. I know you need a goal there for that fourfold you put on. But
that'd be lovely.
Yeah, the two of those games are sitting suspended. It's not showing anything yet, but let you know. See about this Gibraltar match in the meantime. I keep seeing there's a game just above it, and it's 1-0 to the home team, and my eyes keep falling on that.
Kind of wishful thinking. The keeper is just he's getting a bit of treatment here now for Charleroi, so doing his best to run down that clock. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that game where it is now. There's nothing really in play for me on it that's worth worrying about. So I'm gonna watch this Segunda Division game if I can find it.
Yeah, it's no longer suspended, and it's still 1-0. So another phantom suspension there, getting our hopes up.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, it was a red card. That could be good because it's for Huesca. I don't know enough about Gijon if they're likely now to just sit on that 1-0 lead, or if they might kind of kick on a bit. And
they have a free kick here now, halfway into the other half, and there we go. The answer to the question. They just passed it back to the keeper from beyond the centre circle.
That's
so
not
answers that question.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to step away for 1 second briefly, but I'll leave it to you to run the whole things over, Slats, if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, what I'll do is I'll talk through the League One games and Dermo's League One picks while you're gone.
Yeah, that sounds good. Just let me line them up there.
Oh yeah, sound. Yeah.
I'll start away. Sorry, start away there. We'll get them.
Yeah, so it's another 3 picks from the League One over the weekend, and an accumulator of the 3 of those into a treble. And Dermo's had a decent run of those this season. He's had plenty of those trebles that have come off at pretty decent odds. And if the treble doesn't come off, some of the individual ones have certainly come off, and they're usually on the good side of even money each one. So you're definitely up there if you've been back in the League One tips this season. So the first up is the Reims v San Etienne game, which is tomorrow at 8 p.m. tomorrow evening European time. So the pick here is both teams to score. The basis, really, Reims are on decent form. They've been playing well lately. Hugo, I'm going to struggle to pronounce his surname, but Hugo Ekitike has scored 7 goals in his 15 matches so far this season. Been a bit of a revelation for them. So yeah, they've just been a bit of a kind of surprise package, exceeding everyone's expectations. And they're coming up against San Etienne, who have just gotten rid of their manager. They've brought in a caretaker manager, and Dermo has talked about a new sporting director as well that he's expecting to have a lift on the team. So he doesn't think that's going to be enough for San Etienne to get a win out of this, but he definitely thinks they'll have a bit of a boost there and most likely get on the score sheet. So the value looks to be in both teams to score. Reims being probably the better of the 2 sides, but San Etienne with that boost, and just as things happen when you get a new manager in or get rid of a manager, you have players that seem a bit more motivated or enthusiastic. So both teams to score is evens there, and I mean, based on the League One in general, any both teams to score game at evens seems like good value, but there's definitely a bit of logic behind this one to be a likely outcome. Yeah. Next up is Angers versus Clermont Foot, which is Sunday. The other 2 games are both Sunday at 2 p.m. European time. Dermo he's pointed out something interesting, something that I wouldn't really look at in football often, but just that Angers are 17th out of the 20 in the squad value, but they're sitting 8th in the league. So it's just a good indication of how they're overperforming or performing above their expectations, given they haven't spent a whole lot of money and don't have a huge amount of value in their team. But it's just an indication of the manager getting the best out of his players. Clermont have been they had a good enough start to the season, haven't been promoted, but it's all the wheels have come off now. Their last 7 games is a draw and 6 losses. So it's actually surprising to see Angers above evens, just above. They're 21-20 for the win. But you're talking about a good team in the top half of the table in form playing against a team who've lost 6 of their last 7. So it's surprising for a home team to be above evens in that sense.
Yeah.
And then the last one is Rennes v Nice, which is very much a kind of a form pick. Rennes have just been very strong lately, and Nice, who were in second spot, have dropped down to 4th. Rennes have moved up to 2nd. So, just the kind of that momentum, the swing in form. Dermo fancies another home win here. So Rennes to win is 19-20. So just slightly under evens for that. and he just thinks they've enough skill, or enough talent to get the win, but also just their form and Nice's little dip in form, having had a few poor enough losses over the last few weeks. There seems to be a bit of value in back and Rennes there. So the treble of those matches, both teams to score in the Reims game, and then Angers and Rennes both to win, is about 7-1. And yeah, definitely seems worth getting on that.
Yeah, unbelievable. Sorry to cut you off. Huesca have equalised. An absolute rocket of a header. Beautiful counter-attacking goal. So we'll come back to that goal in a second. Yeah, I actually read Dermot's article earlier. I really like it. It's a little bit more conservative than I feel he's been in recent weeks. And I always take that as a good sign. He's back to basics. That makes a really good case for those bets. And, like you said there, the odds team, Dermot's made this point before, and so has Enzo with Serie A. If those games were in the Premier League, you wouldn't be getting anything like those odds,
No, absolutely not. No, there's definitely more value to be found in some of these other European top flight divisions.
Yeah.
And just the goals in League One, as Dermo has pointed out and won bets on every week, like there's an amazing amount of both teams scoring and over 2.5 goals. I wouldn't have been aware of it at all before these write-ups were coming. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye on for people.
Yeah. So that's a great equaliser there in the Segunda. So that's that other leg. So I just need to go to Brentford here for that winner that I called out. 10 minutes left. Not sure if it's going to come, but I'm happy with that to be where we are. That's the lowest priced of all the games left, by the way, is the Watford Brentford. It was 4-11. So that's usually the way that goes. The keeper's down in this Huesca game. He kind of got caught in no man's land a bit there. I think he came out for the cross, and then did he get kicked here? Oh, he did actually got kind of a knee in the head. So looks like a legit one there.
But just going back to that commented tip a long time ago from Alexandru saying about Huesca and Bedoja's, after he mentioned that both of them went down 1-0, and now both are back to 1-1. So it's kind of a bit back on.
It would be huge value if you backed them at 1-0 down. Certainly Huesca, like they were already big price.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even if you had backed them double chance when they were down 1-0, you would have got a pretty decent price on them. And yeah, they're both sitting at 1-1 with a little under 10 minutes left in each game, 7 or 8 minutes left in each game. So it's possible the momentum will be with those equalising teams, and they could kick on for winners. It'd be great if they did. I know we backed it when Bedoya. I think I pronounced that team differently every time I say it. But when they were 1-0 down, it was still 0-0 in the Huesca game. So yeah, that'd be nice if that came in. The Brentford game is suspended at the moment.
It keeps going suspended. I think
it's a goal. Brentford goal, 1-1. So
lovely.
That is nice that was a lovely fourfold.
Yeah,
what odds did you get in that? That was about 10-1, was it?
No, that one was 6-1, I believe. Let me go and check this. Let me check this. That's actually that's kind of put me back to even for the night, I'd say, or a little bit below even in reality, but happy with that. I'll be on a pretty good window if this bloody Emmanuel Dennis can get his second shot on target. Just in my head, I'm thinking, of course, we made such a big point of the difference in odds between 1 shot and 2 shots, and he's going to finish on 1, of course. But
Badijo just went up 2-1 as well. So
unreal.
Yeah,
but actually, yeah. If Huesca could win that game, this game, I would be in a huge night for me if they can come back.
There's a VAR's reviewing a penalty in the Huesca Gijon game, but I don't see which way it's going.
It'd be for Gijon.
Shite, is it?
It can't be a penalty, in my opinion. It just can't be. Fair play to the Spanish. They've got their VAR all the way down in the Segunda. But basically, the ball was crossed into the box, and he's not giving it, is he? No, he's taking something that wasn't given. Ball was crossed into the box, and the two players were like, back to back or back to front, right beside each other, real tight man marking. And the centre forward just moved out of the way at the last minute, and the ball just caught the defender on the arm. Like, would have been awful decision. This game is really It's all the home side here, though. So obviously the man
Really?
advantage is making a big difference. But 20-1 in play for a Huesca winner. I mean, again, it's 1-1 and it's 85 minutes. And because it's all Gijon, the Huesca goal was a counter attack. So another counter attack at 20-1 isn't seem that crazy.
No, I guess it's just the case. Do you think they'd go for it now that they have the equalizer? Are they more likely to just kind of sit back on that? And
Do you know, it was some impressive counterattack, though. Like, it was lightning fast. I mean, it'd be all over Sky Sports News if it was in one of the top divisions. It was just two passes, tore down the wing. And, you know, one of those crosses that he was nowhere near the byline. Like, he was a good 35 yards out from the end of the pitch and just rocketed it into the box. And then the defender just kind of diving header. Really, really good counterattack. So, I mean, it only took 2 men, so I wouldn't be surprised if they could get there. Geez, I have a bet on here that I forgot that I did, but I need Dennis to get his shot on target again. Really want that to come good.
You'd wonder. I mean, you would think Watford, having led for most of the match and conceded just a couple of minutes ago, you know, they'll have another stab at it, trying to get a winner.
Yeah, you'd really expect them to, you know. And, you know, Gary talked in the article about how their schedule has been so tough recently. I mean, this is their real shot at a winner, you know. This game. So, free kick here for Huesca. Over to the far side of the box, headed back in. No. There was a decent chance there, but just couldn't do it. Badajoz are winning. All right, did we see that? Did you call that out?
Yeah. I was saying that,
so we did it.
So, we just need to Huesca for that double. And Dermot was saying in the comments not so long ago that he had backed in Nantes and Badajoz double. And the Nantes game is suspended at the moment. The Brentford game went suspended as well, but it doesn't look like it's anything to do with a Watford attack, so I don't think you're getting your second shot on target right now. But yeah, that Nantes game has been suspended on Bet365 for a few minutes now, but it looks as if the game is playing away, so I'm not sure why they've cut the markets there.
Yeah. We'll kick Huesca. Yeah, 20-1 on the Huesca winner here. Very tempted, but I won't do it for the reason that I've got it in other bets. But let me check them on the exchange. It must be big odds on the exchange.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, for when it goes out as far as 20-1 in the sports book, you could easily be getting, 30-1 on the exchange.
Would you call it?
I'd guess 30-1.
I guess
28.
Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, it's gone suspended. It's suspended. Back on the sports book, but in the exchange, it's suspended.
Strange.
So I can't give you any odds at the minute, but we'll come back to that. Yeah, that bit that I said was really good. Like, it's just a combination of the ones I put on earlier, but the only thing left is that second Dennis shot. And I'm getting basically offered my stake back. It's really, really miserly.
What will it pay if he gets the second shot?
Well, a 10 on to pay 550.
And that's all you're waiting on?
Yeah, and they're offering, and Badajoz to hang on.
Okay, right, yeah.
And they're offering me 16.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an offer that you would be way more sick if you took it in the bet.
Oh yeah, I won't be going near it, but
no, you couldn't.
No. Let me see.
Unless he's not on the pitch anymore, then I'd be grabbing
They suspend that now. Usually they're getting pretty good at it. Still suspended. I mean, the game is back on here in this Spanish game, but it's still suspended on the exchange. I don't know why that would be.
Yeah, they've just dropped coverage of it or something.
But it's not suspended on the sports book. Do you know?
No, I have seen that before occasionally. Yeah, where, they seem kind of independent of each other anyway.
Yeah,
but I have seen one kind of go suspended. Another example of it is like the sports book will often on Betfair. The sports book will often just go suspended once it goes into injury time, but the exchange will stay live. You can keep betting.
But the correct score markets are still available. but the straight win is not. Don't understand
That is strange, isn't it? Why have they left that up? But I could see there for a second, and it's gone again. You could have got, it's 36-1 for 2-1 to Huesca, which is, about as likely as a Huesca win is going to be. Like, you couldn't see them kicking on to 3-1 victory here. Now there's not much liquidity available on that, but you get €2 on at 38-1 now if you did fancy Huesca to get a winner.
I'm going to do that.
Oh, Nantes have gone up 3-2, so Dermot's going to be
Dermot.
happy with that once Badajoz both hang on. But it's very late in both of those games into injury time.
Oh, Dennis has been taken off. God damn.
Shite. That must have just been a second ago, was it? Yeah, 90th minute.
Just now, yeah. Really irritating.
Strange. I find it strange in those situations why you would take your goal scorer off. Like, if you've any ambition of getting another, surely you just kind of keep a bit of faith in your goal scorer, if anyone.
Yeah. Looking at the old odds here for a 2-1 Huesca win, and you can back it at 29s or laid at 990. Dangling that one out there,
I would certainly be taking the 990 if anyone was interested in laying it at that price.
That is really
there's 4 minutes of injury time in the Huesca game, and 2 of those minutes are up now, so not long to go. You could see them just clinging on for the draw at this stage.
Yeah.
Have you anything else lined up for the weekend, bets wise?
To be honest, no. Really, what the guys have on the website, that's where I'm looking. Nothing else jumps out to me.
No, it can be handy to have that there anyway. Just if time isn't on your side, I don't always have, like, the way sometimes the weekend list of football can nearly be a bit overwhelming to try and make your way through and pick your bets from. And when you don't have the time for it, it can be handy just to be able to have a quick review of the lads' bets. And sometimes I'll do combinations, from the EFL, La Liga, League One and Serie A, or maybe, depending on how they've been getting on lately, just back one of them all in on a, on an ACA, on a treble for their picks, that sort of thing. But it's definitely handy just to have that information in front of you, and just knowing that the guys know their stuff with those specific leagues as well.
Yeah, exactly. This game is I think it's over in Brentford, is it?
It's suspended anyway, so let me just click into it. No, I mean, it's showing that there's 2 minutes. Oh, it's a Brentford penalty.
And you know what? Before Watford, they took Dennis off, so I hope they paid a price here now, to be honest.
Taking their goal scorer off.
Yeah, I'm a bit behind here on the comments, but I presume it's for that winner, or that to go ahead goal in the Nantes game. So Dermot has commented, boom, ex-Belgian league hotshot Moses Simon with the goal. So lovely stuff there. Hopefully
very nice 7-1 shot, in play bet, and it looks like it's gonna stick. I haven't seen.
If I had the time to go back and watch all the streams, I mean, we've had some amount of in play winners that we call out like that. So really, really happy with that. This one here for me.
This penalty, actually, I'd forgotten as well. It will be, in fairness, it'll be Gary's leg of the bet coming off. He is over 2.5 goals in this game. So it'd be nice with 30 seconds of injury time left to get that up. I know our treble didn't come off.
Hold on. Open goal and Huesca missed it. Oh my God.
No way.
And now Gijon are on a counter-attack and they've got a 3-on-3 here. So, oh my God.
How bad a miss was it? Like,
they got around the back line, got into the byline, squared the ball, and it just went past 1-2 players. Everybody was at the wrong side of the goal. And maybe an open goal is the wrong description of that. but an absolute game's over. Oh God, that was an absolute golden opportunity for Huesca, and didn't
Jesus.
come. That is really painful for me there, must admit.
Yeah, well, I had them for a win as well. Yeah, on that double with Badajoz.
Brentford have scored that penalty, so that's that.
Yeah, well, fair play to Gary. That's his leg of the bet.
Nice.
And at least, even if us two didn't manage it, but I think we were a little unlucky. I mean, Ajax to draw 1-1. If that equaliser had come a bit early, I think they would have maybe kicked on to get the win. And the weather definitely went against you in that game. But
yeah, I've just gone
wasn't
through
a
my
mile
bets
off
there
either.
as well. That Dennis shot, he had 2 shots. One was blocked, one was on target. And if he'd gotten 2 on target, like the difference between that and not is it's about 1,200 quid. It's after letting
Really?
down for.
Oh my God!
I had him backed in a single. I had him in a same game bet builder with both teams to score in the Watford match. I had him in a 4-fold that I was saying to you earlier that I had Badajoz to win over 1.5 in Huesca and the goal in the Belgian game. So yeah, those 3 together paid like 520, 280, and 200. Oh, that's sickening.
Jeez.
Yeah. Rest of
God,
the games
and
are all
that
wrapping
block
up
shot,
here.
like, I mean, it,
Yeah.
like, just the difference of a defender getting his foot in the way, like, just that's all.
Yeah. Don't even want to watch the highlights of that one now. When
No,
the
you'd
time
be
comes.
avoiding them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About you, any bets? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's exactly what I was going to talk about. The only other thing I was looking at bets for is this Munster game that we spoke about, where the Munster rugby team had a lot of players that travelled to South Africa for a couple of games a few weeks ago, just when this Omicron variant emerged, and they all got stuck down there. And even though they're back in Ireland now, they're all in strict 10-day quarantine, not even in a kind of a bubble of the team. They're actually individually quarantined, and so none of them could be involved. So Munster were lucky to have a few players off on international duty coming back who weren't in South Africa at the time. So there's 8 of those. Then there's a few squad players that are just back from injury to fill in. And then they've 5 debutants in the starting 15, and 7 of their 8 subs are all debutants as well. So it's a bit of it's a crazy kind of setup for a game. It's kind of like Ryder Rovers stuff where, they're not expected to win. I would expect, have been slight favourites going into the game, but they're 10-point underdogs now on the back of that. And it could be a hiding, given that they've a lot of these, almost amateur players starting and on the bench, complete newcomers. But, it could be a great kind of historic win or, memorable win for them as well if they could go on to get it. Yeah. So I was looking at the try odds, but they don't have, oddly, Betfair have last try score available and anytime try score, and Paddy Power have anytime try score available just alone. So in the any times I was looking at, so they have a handful of experience seasoned internationals, and Dave Kilcoyne is one of them. In the front row, he's the sort of player, the way we've seen a lot more lately of them doing tap and goes from 5-yard penalties. Instead of taking a line out or a scrum, they just tap and go and go for the line. He'd be the player on the team now that would be taking those on. And anything off the back of rucks. And because there's 4 debutants in the pack of 8, he's going to be a bigger ball carrier than normal. He's 5-1 to score a try anytime. Wow. Which is decent. He was 33-1 to score the last try, and usually the last try score, they just plug the same odds as the first try score. If he was 33-1 for the first try, I'd be all over it. But I think 5-1 for any time seems pretty decent as well.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, shame you can't find a market. Maybe closer to the kickoff, is it likely to pop up?
It very much so. Yeah, those markets have only come up in the last 4 or 5 hours. The Munster team was named around lunchtime today, and I would say the bookies are trying to figure out who some of the players are before you can be putting odds on them. How do you put odds on a number 8 making his debut and in
exactly.
senior rugby or whatever, like in Munster Rugby. He's, I was reading up about a few of them, and they've played, underage for Ireland, under 20s, and have been pretty decent. And this number 8, particularly, they mentioned they scored some outrageous tries. So if they offer odds on him for first try score, I'd be interested in that. I'm just having a look here at what he is. He's 4-1, Daniel Okeke, 4-1 for any time try score. But I'd be looking for a low stakes, wider bet, a first try score bet, rather than going at him at 4-1, because you just have no idea how he's going to perform in a game like this. His first Munster match, for the senior team. But yeah, it'll be an interesting one to watch, just given the dynamic of the game and the squad going into it.
Yeah. I'm looking here while you were talking. There's a Portuguese match, the one that PK mentioned. It's 83 minutes in now, so it's getting late. It's 3-1 for the goal, and it's been all Gil Vicente the whole time you were talking. Like, they've just had, I think they had 4 corners in a row, or at least 3. One of them might have been a replay, and they've just been, chance after chance to really push him for it. I don't know why. I think there might be a bit of added on time. I'm not sure, but I'm tempted to just get on that actually now.
So would you be getting on a goal or the winner, the team to win?
I'll check the odds. So it's 3-1 for a goal.
There's 6.6 on the exchange, so
5.5 to 1. Probably not worth the difference there. Home or away is only slightly bigger odds. Forget that. I might do it. Really good save there as well. It's really tempting me. There's nothing else out there at all. It's catching my eye. It's a bit it's flat everywhere else, really. Obviously, a lot of the games are finished or very close to finishing. So, but you, any last minute bets?
Oh, I'm just tailing you on this one. It's gone up to a little over 3-1 now.
You're on it, are you?
For a goal here. So yeah, I haven't had much luck now in my in plays. I know you and PK have had some nice ones, but
that stupid Emmanuel Dennis one that was kind of soured it for me a bit. It was really, he was. Most of my bets are contingent on him, so I'm actually down a little bit tonight. I thought I would break even with him, but I'm actually, so it didn't happen. So, are you on this one here?
Yeah, I just got on it there now, yeah.
Oh, very good. All right.
Yeah, there's only 4 minutes left, but sure.
Yeah. Commenting from Gary, telling us unlucky with the bets tonight. Yeah, thank you, Gary. Gone better, a little bit unlucky, certainly in Belgium with the weather. Your bet landed, so very good news there for you. Sure, you were celebrating and watching. So
yeah, we did have our 45-1 winner come in last week, so I mean, of course, it's not going to happen.
Riding on that one, riding the crest of that wave for a long time.
In fairness, we can. I mean, we our live ACA, will be in the profit for the season based on that alone, and we've had another winner or two in that already this season.
Exactly.
As well. So, we can definitely get away with riding that one for a while. But hopefully we'll get another one of them up in the next few weeks. It'd be nice before Christmas to get another big one. Yeah,
be nice timing for it. That actually, next week is our last live Friday stream of the year, the calendar. Oh, nearly a goal. Next Friday will be our last live action ACA of the calendar year, with the next 2 Fridays fall on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So we won't be here to talk people through the bets. I don't imagine there'll be much of a schedule on those nights either. So one more to go to get us right up there for the year. That was some chance there. Are you watching this game, lads?
No, I don't have it on. No, it was close, was it? Let me see, because
really
I was in the exchange placing that bet. I'll see if I can watch it in the sports book. No, it doesn't seem to be. Is it on Betfair?
I have it on Bet365 anyway. So
they do have it here on Betfair, yeah.
Pretty open. So I like your angle for that Munster match tomorrow, Slats.
Sunday. Sorry, that game's Sunday.
Sometimes with those things, and you don't think get a lot of media coverage, like the bookies often don't take any chances either. So your 4-1 is pretty limited. Really, wouldn't tempt me either. But if you can get that 33s if it comes out.
Yeah, if they do first try, I'll definitely be going at. Oh, that was close enough there again.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be going at one of the Munster newcomer forwards. There'll be 2 front row. I'll be avoiding the second row, but maybe that number 8. If he was decent odds for the first try, I'd be going at him, I think.
Yeah, I'd be the same there now. I'm in a WhatsApp group here with a few kind of punters, and someone has got the graph shot murdering the 160-1 both teams to score in the Eredivisie. So they were really the weakest link on that league.
That's true, actually. Yeah, they were the only team that didn't score out of 20 teams.
Presumably similar weather there than the guys had in Belgium, so maybe that was part of why. Actually, no, because all the other teams scored. Ternana, take that back. They were just poor.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Helmond, like I was saying, I think Helmond held Volendam to a 0-0 draw, if I remember that correctly. So, like that'd be 2 clean sheets against big teams that they've had in recent weeks.
Yeah, like you said, it could be an angle to watch over the coming weeks. If they turn the corner.
Yeah, there's still, the way the odds don't change just after one win or a win and a draw. So now would be the time to kind of take, have a bit of a roll the dice on them a bit. Like I haven't looked at who they're playing next, but yeah, I'll definitely be taking it into account anyway.
Yeah, bringing the changes here now. You're watching this game, yeah? So
I have it on, but just on small screen. I can't see how much injury time they're putting up, or have they put it up there? Oh, they haven't put it up yet anyway.
Oh. Sure haven't. Let me see who Helmond are playing next. Away to young Ajax. So
I mean, Ajax haven't been on great form themselves.
Probably too soon to get any odds for that, but definitely one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I'll be looking through that league anyway again for next Friday's matches, or next Friday's stream rather. So yeah, if I see anything, I'll be shouting.
5 minutes added on, by the way, in this Portuguese game.
Yeah, and it's still looking fairly end to end, right? I mean, both teams are definitely going at it here.
That's a good.
If they'd have just beaten that last defender,
That's exactly that.
Oh, jeez, and he just tripped over the ball a bit then.
So while we were talking about the rugby, do you have any other betting angles that you're looking at this weekend in the Champions Cup?
No, I wanted to look into the game that was on tonight. It's going to sound like after time. I didn't know anything about it, but Racing were away to Northampton, and Racing's away form mightn't have been great this season domestically. I'm not sure. I didn't get a chance to look into it, but the last I saw in that game, they were absolutely hammering Northampton.
Right.
So yeah, I'll have it. I haven't had a look through the games properly, and given it's the first weekend of Europe, there's plenty of teams. Leinster have a number of COVID absentees, and there's a few other teams that have been hit with that sort of thing. A couple of games, forfeited or walkovers given.
Yeah.
By the teams that were struck down with COVID and that. So
that's actually something I wanted to bring up. I forgot to do it actually when we had PK here as well. But like in the Europa League or the Europa Conference League even, and the Premier League, like Spurs have a bit of a COVID problem. And they basically just asked UEFA and the Premier League to postpone their games, and they did. And because they basically didn't manage their squad well enough. Like, I mean, so there was Conte came out and he was saying that all players have had COVID, and some guys keep training, and then we find out the next day that they had COVID, and then we train again and we find out next guys had COVID. If there's a COVID outbreak, you break up the team. You can't keep just rolling that dice. So personally, I think they should have forfeited both of the games, or else play young guys or something like that. But they've they got their way anyway.
Has there
postponements?
Like, has it been defined at all?
Probably. I don't know. I actually don't know in the Premier League, but like, I don't think at some point you'd have to move on from COVID. It can't just be an excuse. If you can't field the team, well then you don't win. You don't just get to move the game. Do you know what I mean? So,
but as well, I mean, if that happened, like there's a big schedule for any team who's in the Champions League to fulfill all their games in a season. If Spurs had another 2 or 3 games postponed for the same reason, you know, you're kind of wondering where you're going to actually put those games in, like.
Yeah, and as well, like there's a really, you know, the England calendar in particular gets really busy, you know, over Christmas period. So there's not a huge amount of time there, you know. So so we'll see what happens. It's getting late here anyway.
Because of course, like they'll have to reschedule that Champions League game,
Conference League game, exactly.
Soon,
So because the groups, basically there's two teams in that group. It's them and Vitesse Arnhem from the Netherlands. Oh, very good chance. Who I forget which way it is, but one of the teams needs to better the other team's result if they want to get through. Spurs need to better Vitesse's result if they want to go through. But Vitesse have already played, so now Spurs know what they need to do. And I think the way it's panned out, they play against Reims, and the French crowd can't qualify. So now they might just put out nobodies, you know. So it's kind of skewed that whole, you know, like a lot of these competitions, the last game day, they're all on at the same time.
The groups are played at the same time, and it's kind of crucial, really. Like it gives them a huge advantage.
Yeah,
and even if like you were saying, if both of the teams had a chance at qualification, fair enough, they'd both be going at it. But the fact that that's not the case, like I mean, Spurs could run away with that match now.
Yeah, so it's just a bit strange. Oh, there's a really good chance here.
Oh,
goal! Oh my God, 94:59 on the clock. Is it 94:52?
That is one way to recover from a bad night of betting.
That's unreal.
Jesus, that was so late.
Evens, that's class. Nice, great finish too.
95 minutes, Christ.
Yeah, and that Vicente as well did it, so that would have been a good. You called it out at 6-1 or whatever it was, 6 point something.
Yeah, no, I mean, you had been saying they were dominating the last while. Now, in fairness, Ferreira had plenty of chances there since I started watching. They probably had.
That would have been a very stressful few minutes if we had them backed. Yeah,
but he's not offside at all.
No, that has to.
It's just I saw the market was still suspended, but it's probably suspended because it's going to be blowing up after they kick off.
Yeah. Oh, really coolly taken, finished.
That's the game.
Yeah.
That's nice. Now that's gonna have recovered my bank balance a little.
Yeah, I think I'm actually basically back to flat now for the night, which, considering how that went, I will take that all day long. And just have to get over that. Those shots on target, Marcus. Now that's twice this week I've been, you know, if Jude could have gotten 2 of his on target, it'd be up 10 grand, and if Dennis could have gotten 1 more on target, another grand. So pretty rough, but we'll take it anyway. That's the way it has to go.
It's gone full time. They kicked off, booted the ball forward with their winger, the Ferreira winger running to gather it as an attack, and defender got in just full time. Like
I'd say there was only 5 seconds after that kickoff. Like yeah. Oh, unreal. Fantastic stuff! What a great end to the show. Get us back to where we started. So again, anyone still with us? You know, we do. You know, we're not trying to blow our own trumpets here, or whatever that phrase is, but we do pick out plenty of in-play winners. You know, we do watch these games and a lot of other games, so we're pretty solid track record of picking out these bets in play. And we got Dermot in the comments who had that 7-1 winner as well. So you might know him from our French column on the Ligue and column on SportsRunDown.com as well. So plenty of great angles around this weekend. So make sure to head over to SportsRunDown.com. If you're still watching us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, make sure to like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is on the appropriate platform. It makes a huge difference to what we do here. And we'll see you back at the same time next week. I won't be here myself, but Gary, our usual team member, and Slats will be holding over, and hopefully PK will be there as well. And that will be the last scheduled Friday of the year. So, yeah, I will see you in the new year, and look forward to seeing you guys next week, guys. Take care.
Cheers, Abby. Good luck.